Welcome in 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Full show tonight. We are here all night long. Kind of like the song. Till 11 o'clock. Feel free to join us. The phone number to join us. Feel free to talk about anything you want tonight. 617-779-0985. You can join us on YouTube. The reason why I start with this every single show is, well, we follow the YouTube. We have a family in there. What's up, YouTube fam? And we read all the chats all night long, and you're a big part of the show. So get on over to YouTube and then search 98.5 The Sports Hub. Click subscribe, and then you can chat the show. You can also watch all our old videos and all the stations' old videos as well. So where do we start tonight? Red Sox are off. Not much going on with the Celtics. Bruins are trying to make some noise, and I feel like maybe we should piggyback off of the Patriots and their OTA this week. That was open to the public. You know, at times I hear that fans, they don't want to hear that. Oh, you're so negative all the time. Like, I get that all the time from people. But I do think it's fair to bring up the Patriots are still somewhat in transition. The Patriots weren't a good football team last year. I know you could look at it and say, a few games here and there with better coaching and a better offensive line, they should have won games. I'll agree. The roster's still not great. The roster is still not great. And guess what? The offense is still a question mark. And I haven't brought this one out in a while. But I still think that Josh McDaniels, without Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, the jury is out. Now, I'm not going to say it's suspect by any means. But the jury is out. Do I have to remind you about Josh McDaniels, everybody? Name a team that wanted to interview Josh McDaniels this year. Do it. I dare you. Is it what Mike Vrabel really wanted? Because I don't know. I read a report over the weekend from Mike Reese. They really wanted Thomas Brown. Somehow they got both. I think it's an upgrade for the Patriots to have two guys that know offense that were former head coaches on this staff. So there's your positive right there, everybody. I think that's a positive. This year, Drake Maye is going to be looked at with a lot of expectations. There's a lot of pressure on this kid. Now, I think he has the ability to be successful in the NFL. I do. This is now the second offensive coordinator that he'll be working with. An offensive coordinator that has had success in New England, but I can give you his resume. When he was an offensive coordinator without Brady and or Belichick. It wasn't good with Denver. He drafted Tim Tebow. He got fired. He went to St. Louis, was the offensive coordinator, had the number 1 overall pick in Sam Bradford, and the offense was ranked 32nd in the league. He went to the Raiders. He ruined the Raiders. They wanted him gone so bad they had a victory party when he was gone. He's been out of the league. And now he's the one to work with Drake Maye. And what do I hear from the reporters that were there? Drake Maye off to a slow start. Because what was the biggest takeaway from the first OTA? Drake Maye struggles with the biggest takeaway. 4 interceptions. Well, yesterday, I'm reading from Phil Perry, he improved, but the offense still left plenty to be desired against a defense that had looked to be a step ahead so far this spring. Let's bookmark the Josh McDaniels Drake May take and get back to the defense ahead of the offense. This is why I did not want Mike Vrabel as the head coach. I want there to be an offensive mind. I want the offense to be ahead of the defense. That's what I want. But right now, the Patriots have Mike Vrabel as their head coach, and the defense is ahead of the offense. Now, it probably is like that in most camps, I'll be honest. Normally, the defense is always ahead of the offense this time of year. That's a fact. But it helps my take, and it's something I wanted to dig into. Drake May is off to a slow start. Phil Perry used a word to describe the offense as uneven. I've read some other people say bumpy for the Patriots offense. What's making it bumpy? Is it Josh McDaniels? Is it Drake May? Is it a philosophy from Mike Vrabel? Or could it just be the talent on the roster? Could it just be that? Could Drake May's struggle still be because of who he's around? Uneven. Phil Perry uses. He also said had some fine moments. First unit, Drake May and Hunter Henry look good at times, but also disjointed. Head-scratching incompletions. Is Drake May going to struggle this year because of Drake May, or is it the talent around him or the coaching? Those are a lot of hurdles to get over for a team that won just a couple of games last year. I do have expectations the Patriots should be better this year. I clearly will tell you they're going to be better coached. There's head coaches all over the roster. But are these words that we're hearing about Drake May's slow start? To me, I think it's about the talent mixed in with the new coaching. You know, Mike Vrabel was asked if he cared about Drake May's 4 interceptions a week ago. He said, I care. I care about every player's performance. We just have to look to improve. He goes, there's a lot of things that go into it. We're not going to analyze every single practice and have explanations. He also said that these things are going to happen. Drake May is off to a slow start, people. Are you concerned? If I take just Drake May's ability out of it, new offensive coordinator, new head coach, and your free agent right now is Mac Hollins. You drafted a wide receiver, but are you really improved? And is that going to help Drake May take the next step? So, again, to me, when these articles come out, I'm not thinking Drake May. I'm thinking the Patriots. They just might not be as good as the expectations that are set out there. And what I mean by that is the most bet over at ESPN bet 8.5 wins is the Patriots. Don't follow the steam. Drake May's off to a slow start because maybe the Patriots are still off to a slow start with evaluating talent. We'll get into more of this on the other side. Feel free to jump in on that. 617-779-0985. One other thing here. Mike Vrabel's been doing some cleaning. He's been doing some house cleaning when it comes to the Patriots. I think he's got more cleaning up to do. We'll get into that coming up here on the other side. Once again, you can join us on YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel. You can join. You can chat in there. We got Skaz here. We got Jake in the house. Our intern, Trey, is here tonight as well. Full house here until 11 o'clock. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
we got to look at practices, and well, Josh Dobbs looked good yesterday. And looking at the numbers in 11 on 11s, Dobbs 10 of 16. Drake Maye's 9 of 17. Ben Woolbridge, whatever bridge, he's out. Also, Drake Maye's day ended with a fumbled snap. No turnovers, though. I didn't bring that one up yet. My take is Drake Maye's performance this year, will it be impacted by the many changes along with the poor roster? I think it is. I'm not saying it's suspect. I'm just telling you the jury's out on Josh McDaniels. But Joe, look what he did with Mac Jones and Cam Newton. Bill Belichick was here. Just once Josh McDaniels does well without Brady and Belichick, I will back away. Until then, full speed ahead, everybody. How about the receiving core? Are they good? We'll get into the Stefon Diggs thing in a little bit here. They're banking on that one. Heard that this weekend, too. How about the offensive line? It looks like it's improved. They spent money. They drafted it. Okay. All right. Everything's nothing to see there, guys. Nothing to see there. How about Mike Vrabel being a defensive-minded coach? Is it the right guy to work with a young quarterback like that? And I didn't even mention the backup quarterback. Because the other backup quarterback, they had to send to Dallas because, well, some of the reports were Drake Maye didn't want that type of pressure from a backup. I heard other things such as Joe Milton thought he was a starter, so that's why they moved him. Anyways, it sounds like Drake Maye and the Patriots don't really want him to have competition. Very similar to years ago with Mac Jones when it was suspect that they brought Bill O'Brien in. That was suspect. Not there yet with this one. The jury is out on Josh McDaniels. But how about that? Is that true? Did we hear Greg Bedard say that Josh Dobbs was 10 of 16 and had a better day? Because I read from Phil Perry of NBC Sports Boston that he did not look good. So are we now getting Josh Dobbs look good? Josh Dobbs didn't look good? Is this now added pressure for Drake Maye? Is it another thing to add to the many things that could interrupt his progression this year? 617-779-0985. I think there's a possibility for that. On a couple other things I wanted to just mention quickly because I want to get into the Diggs thing in a second here, but Drake Maye is off to a slow start. Bumpy, as some have mentioned. And reading from Mass Live, this is Mark Daniels. He said after Maye's rough day, Vrabel was asked about if he cared about the turnovers. He did. I gave you that quote a little while ago. He was slightly better. No interceptions. The offense still looks sluggish and never established a rhythm. This is what we're hearing about the offense, people. I thought Josh McDaniels was coming in and bringing stability, and what's going on here? In the final 11 on 11 period, Maye completed 2 or 3 passes. His last play of the day was a fumbled snap. I mentioned that. Through 2 practices, he's 20 of 33 with 4 interceptions. That's 61%, Joe Math. Last year, in 5 spring practices, he was 29 of 44 with 3 interceptions, 66%. Oh, Skaz, we're getting increased interceptions now. So we're now keeping track of practice completions and interceptions. And to me, Maye was better last year than this year, according to the chart here. Is it cause for concern, people? Vrabel noted that Maye's 4-interception day had a lot to do with working on third down plays. So wait, he struggled on third down situations? Kayshon Boutte, after practice, said he didn't want to talk about what improvements he's seen from Maye. Oh! But added he feels like the offense will perform better when the pads come on. That's not really... Didn't he have a comment about him last year, too? Is that why he's on the trade block, potentially? That one's a smelly one right there, Skaz. Hey, I'll bring in Skaz for this one. I'm curious what you think about this. Kendrick Bourne or Boutte? For this year. You can only keep one.
I mean, Bourne is the better player as of right now, but if you're looking long-term, maybe to build a relationship with Drake Maye, you could say Boutte.
I go Boutte. I think you might be able to get something for Bourne, maybe. But I do remember Boutte saying something about the offense didn't move fast. I think it probably was more of a shot at the offense not going for it downfield. But he didn't bring up any improvements from Drake Maye. I thought that was very interesting. Are you concerned about the bumpy starts, guys?
Am I concerned about Drake Maye throwing interceptions? Yes. Am I concerned about him throwing interceptions on May 28th and 29th of OTAs? Not as much. I think Drake Maye does have turnover issues. I think it is a very valid concern for Patriots fans and the Patriots coaching staff. But what are we doing with Josh Dobbs? I have to hear that Josh Dobbs is better than him one day. What does that mean?
No.
Does that mean Drake Maye sucks? Does that mean Josh Dobbs is good? I don't think it means either.
Okay.
I think it means...
I don't want to hear that.
Neither do I.
No. To your point, I don't know what it means.
Nothing.
But I don't want to hear that.
What are they going to start Josh Dobbs because he was better than Drake Maye in OTAs? I just
want to hear that Josh Dobbs always sucks and Drake Maye is the best.
I don't even need to hear that because I know Drake Maye is going to throw interceptions. He's going to fumble. That's his game right now.
Let me rephrase the question. I feel like there's multiple hurdles for Drake Maye to overcome this year to progress.
But are there any hurdles for Drake Maye to be the week 1 starter?
Hell no.
0.
Hell to the no.
Yes, 0.0.
That could be your headline. Hell to the no. No. That guy's he's the starter day 1. He can throw 50 interceptions he's starting day 1.
So congrats to Josh Dobbs. You had a good day throwing the ball May 29th. Put it in the calendar.
Do you think Josh McDaniels and his new offense could hinder his progression?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, this is good. Do you think that Mike Vrabel having the defense ahead of the offense, which normally is always this time, but could Mike Vrabel, who, could he get in the way of Drake Maye's?
I would say no because I think the better your defense is, I think that should be a plus for the quarterback. Okay. I think the harder the defense is in practice, I think those should be good things for Drake Maye.
How about the lack of still roster talent?
Well, I mean, according to some people on the station today, Stefon Diggs might not be here week 1. So,
what?
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't hear anything today.
I believe Zoe said he wouldn't be shocked if Stefon Diggs was released.
No way.
Yes.
Are you guys kidding me? They can't get receivers. So now you're going to kick them off the team for some candy on a boat? Guys, they can't attract talent. Who cares about the pink powder? Who cares?
Well, Joe, you or I may not care. What if Mike Vrabel? What if the Patriots care?
Do they know they can't get wide receivers? This is like a college recruiting. I don't care what his grades are. Get the guy in. Derrick Rose, you can't take the SAT. Have someone else do it for you. That happened. And they blew the national championship. Mario Chalmers. Anyways, can I give you... Okay, so talent. We agree the talent could be in the way?
Yeah, especially if Stefon Diggs isn't here.
Can I give you a quote on that real quick? Mike Reese, who I love you, Mike. I really do. I think you're the man. So he mentions in the storyline regarding what is this? An NFL via spokesperson declined to comment on the Stefon Diggs situation. But this is what Mike Reese wrote. Ready? The Patriots are banking on Diggs to elevate a receiving core that finished last in the NFL with 1,723 receiving yards. Furthermore, the Patriots receivers finished 28th in receptions, tied for 28th in receiving yards, and tied for last in first downs. Who cares what Stefon Diggs done? I don't care. Why do you even think he won't be on the team and the Patriots wouldn't want him? Did you see those stats? They need him. That's absurd. That's absurd. You want to know what I'm out on? That. You can't attract talent. The guy dates Cardi B. There was a lot of shaking going on. Like, what did he do? Did he fail a drug test? Why should he be kicked off the team? Why should he be cut? They're banking on him, right? No, that really was said. And I know it. The guy's close to the team. I love you, Zoe. Out. Banking? He really said that they might not be. That's true? Oh, I don't like that. I think they just need to get together. Everybody, get them all in a room together and just.
I wouldn't be shocked if they released Felger Maz, accuse you of protecting Stefon Diggs.
I would not be shocked if he's released. I would not be, based off this, the way you saw it.
Are you serious?
Wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked by it. If you're trying to establish culture, you think about it. Vrabel doesn't put up a crap. Like that's one thing you take away since Mike's gotten here. He's not afraid to make change.
Oh no.
I don't think he's afraid to send messages. Like,
oh no.
I mean, I see the video, then I think differently than when I saw the still picture.
I'm stunned that you think that's a possibility.
Look at me.
That's what me and Jake just said back here. Is Joe and Beetle had the same reaction basically.
If he's cut, way more is going on. Like that's it. Like it's not about this boat thing. The boats, man. NFL players in boats, dude. No more, man. It's just a bad play. If someone says, "Hey, do you want to go on a boat?" Just don't. That could be a nice graphic, Jake. It's just like a boat, like a yacht with a football, just like the no smoking sign on the boat. Like, no! Bikinis and boats, NFL players, no. Bikinis and boats. Oh, that's a song, right? I believe from a movie. I think. What was the name of that group there? Prestige Worldwide?
Yeah, Step Brothers show. Step Brothers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, boats and
Joe's.
Yeah. Boats and Joe's. That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt
Joe's.
right there. It's a bumper sticker.
Oh, we're going to be here till 11 o'clock tonight. This is fun. They're banking on them, guys. I did want to pay homage to a former Patriot. Or we can't wait.
I was just going to say, someone in the YouTube chat brings up a good point. Did Peppers get cut?
Nope.
Okay.
Still here.
Just wondering.
Just saying.
I feel like he had some may have been caught in season. Just saying.
Was captain.
Yeah, he was your captain. I don't remember him being cut.
But just remember, him and Vrabel are boys because of the Ohio State Michigan thing.
And Peppers, he was innocent, so they didn't cut him.
It's just a
Stefon Diggs,
bag of pink cotton candy.
To me, innocent so far. Innocent until proven guilty,
It's
right?
just cotton candy and boats and Joe's.
Yep.
That's it.
I prefer Stefon Diggs on my football team.
Did you hear how bad they suck? Again, I'm bringing this up. I came up with another take, and Vrabel's got a lot of cleaning to do. A lot. I'm telling you, he's already, don't get me wrong, has he already got the power washer out? Yeah. Proton pack. Still a lot of cleaning up to do with this Patriots team, everybody. Boats and Joes. I did want to pay some respect to Mr. Andrews, who's going to retire. And maybe we'll do more cleaning up. We're here till 11 o'clock. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, what do we got tonight? Well, we got basketball game, everybody. New York Knicks trying to hold off elimination. They'll take on the Pacers. What's up with Karl Anthony Towns? He better play.
I could have the surgery and see what happens. And, obviously the team made a decision that, they're trying to do what's best for the football team. And, Hoy, we've been told that for a long time. And, you respect that as a player. Obviously I thought there were some things I could do to help and provide value and but I understand their decision at some level, Yeah, if you're a competitor, you're not like great, like this is all like, no one wants to get fired even in the real world. Like
that's right.
And but yeah, I definitely respect their decision. Do I like it? No. I mean, I think, like I said, I think I could provide value and, I was, hoping that I could try to play and, like I said, just trying to get the ship in the right direction and, help the organization and the community and whatever you want to say.
All right, that is David Andrews, who, when he was released, talked about how it felt. And, they'll have an announcement this week about his retirement. Hearing that again, it sounded like he wanted to be a part of the team this year, help out in any way he can, maybe start the year on pup, maybe go, just be around, help the guys, and if they needed him at some point, hopefully he could be healthy enough and ready to go. But I think he wanted to stick around and help turn the ship in the different direction. The boat's in Joe's boat. David Andrews could be the captain, right? He was the captain. He was one of the final two players on the Patriots roster who was part of their dynasty, and now he's calling it quits. Won 2 Super Bowls, snapping the ball to Tom Brady. 32 years old. They'll hold a press conference saying farewell. Andrews was limited to 4 games last season. He's had a shoulder injury for a while. As you heard in the quote there, you're a little shocked by it, but he said he's been very blessed. I've had 10 years and never got fired. I was living a pipe dream, and I would hopefully make the decision myself. What did Bill Belichick say? There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're hoping it's not a train. I was hoping it wasn't a train, and it was a train. But like I said, I respect their decision. Ooh, a Bill Belichick reference in his retirement. Huh? And it's about a train. Choo-choo! Bill is definitely riding that train. The release came after the Patriots dumped Bill Belichick's successor, Gerard Mayo, after just one season. And then replacing him with another ex-Patriot in Mike Vrabel. Of course, David Andrews, we'll probably, this could be a show summer thing we do at some point, but who is the best undrafted free agent the Patriots have ever had? He signed with the Patriots as an undrafted free agent out of Georgia. He started 121 of his 124 appearances. Dude always played. He was a great player. He was a captain of that Georgia team, I remember. Came in undrafted and literally took over. And they missed him dearly last season. Just his leadership in general, they missed him. He missed the entire 2019 season. He had blood clots in his lungs. Remember that? And I know he was sharing that information, sharing some things with Christian Barmore a year ago, who was dealing with a different situation. The only player left who had won a Super Bowl was Joe Cardona. Cardona signed with the Dolphins earlier this month. And this is what I mean by, I think Mike Vrabel's got a lot of cleaning up to do still. He already whacked all the captains, right? And this was something I saw from Phil Perry again, giving him credit. I think the messaging from Vrabel, both on the team privately and with us, is important. If you're trying to establish a culture and you're going to rid the building of entitlement, it doesn't mean that any time someone does something off the field you don't like that, you got to release them. That's something we talked about off the air, Jake. But if you do have to make some sort of statement to let everybody know what the standard is and what you're looking for and what you're not looking for. So I think it'd be wild if they released Stefon Diggs, but you know who I don't think would be wild? Javon Baker. Yesterday, Mark Daniels, after securing the ball, Baker flexed his right arm and started to jog very slowly to the sideline. Vrabel, pissed. He went out of his way to walk off the field to the locker room with Baker and just reinforce the point in a different way. Probably got a little bit of a softer side of the players' coach between him and Vrabel. I mentioned the Peppers thing a little while ago. Peppers is still here. Peppers is still on the team. Peppers was a captain and got it revoked, and he's still here. Well, Vrabel loves Peppers and remembers him from his time when he was an assistant at Ohio State and Peppers was at Michigan. And I guess they have a really good relationship. So he's still here. Stefon Diggs will still be here. Out on your boats and Joes. Anything to add on anything here, Skess? I still think there's some cleaning up to do. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and on the David Andrews thing, great player, undrafted free agent, had a hell of a career. I think it was, time. Obviously, he doesn't get to go out on his own terms, so that kind of sucks for him. But yeah, you talk about just the overhaul of bringing Vrabel guys in. I feel like Andrews could have been one of those guys, but obviously health got in the way. So I'm with you. I think Vrabel has a long way to go, and I'm interested in Josh McDaniels' role in all of that and surrounding Drake Maye with the right guys around him.
Someone in chat says Zoe doesn't like boats and Joes. I don't know. Maybe we should start making some T-shirts. Maybe some stickers. What would be the logo? Cotton candy? I love cotton candy. I mentioned the steakhouse the other night. What a great dessert, huh? Cotton candy? No, you're out?
Not a cotton candy guy.
What do you think after a meal, like something complimentary and not
a mint?
Okay. I like a mint when I leave.
Yeah.
Or like a toothpick.
Nice tooth. Sometimes they have the mint toothpicks, Joe.
That's right. What about a face towel?
That's a little too highbrow for me.
Me too.
It's too much pressure. What am I supposed to do with it?
I watched The Wedding Singer the other day, and he used it as like a handkerchief, like a napkin. And she's like, no. And that's me. Sometimes when I go get a shave, they give me the hot towel and then put a smoke machine on me, and I'm like, I don't need all this. I have no hair. What do I need this for? Anyways. Wait, what would be another good complimentary though? It's not a dessert that you choose.
Like coffee ice cream, I feel like is one.
Complimentary?
Complimentary. Jake's saying sometimes.
So somebody just comes over and just brings over coffee ice cream?
He said in Arizona, that's the thing.
I like that.
I feel like complimentary coffee, too, you'll get at the end of a meal. Espresso.
Espresso?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Espresso. I always would. I did used to like mints on your pillows when you were at a hotel.
Yeah, some chocolates on the pillow, some mints. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm getting off track. It always happens to me. What's up, Justin and Lynn?
Hey, Joe. I agree with you with guys. I think the Patriots, need to really rein them in. And I'm not concerned about the interceptions at all with Drake Maye on May 29th. I'll be more concerned in September when the games happen.
No, of course, Justin. I know. I already got a couple of people being like, Joe, stop it. Pump the brakes. It's not OTAs. It's not even week 6, bro. I've already got it. I am just telling you. These are the things we're going to watch every day. Because the Red Sox are giving us nothing, right? What about the Bruins? What are they doing for us, huh? How about the Celtics? What's going on there? Anything going on there? Just what? Is anything going on?
We got some interviews, Joe.
We
Tomorrow, I believe.
We do. That's right. We have an interview tonight. Who's we got a keeper coming on tonight?
Ivacic should be joining us at 8:20.
Ivacic.
I believe so. We're gonna have to double check with him, but I believe it's Ivacic.
Okay, and then Bill Speros of Bookies and the Herald. Bookies and the Herald. Bookies.com and the Herald. We'll be here for the 9 o'clock hour tonight. We got in or out. We got the musings. Whatever else we got tonight. We're here till 11. We'll take a break. Oh, did you see who's going back to the Stanley Cup? Well, if you didn't, I'll tell you who it is next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. Brad Marchand is going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. For the fourth time in his NHL career, he'll play for the Stanley Cup. But it's the first time he'll do it without wearing a Bruins sweater. Instead, he'll be with the Florida Panthers, who completed the gentleman's sweep over Carolina. Got a 5-3 win. They'll try to become the first team since the 17 Penguins to win back-to-back. Oh, the decision to move on from Brad Marchand. It's been pretty good for Florida, huh? They knew he wouldn't be ready. But you know what? He's been better than advertised. He's played in all 17 playoff games. 4 goals, 10 assists. And he's a rat. After the game, he said it's special. When you've been around for a while, you realize how few opportunities you have to be a part of something like this. He was talking to Jackie Redmond last night. Remember us, guys? We were watching the postgame. Just enjoying every moment, grateful for the opportunity. And you're right, definitely didn't expect to be here in this jersey. But I'm very happy that I am. Ugh. Are people happy for Brad Marchand? Because I am. He thought he was worth $7 million. They didn't. We all don't think he thought he was either. Got traded, wasn't going to play. The team gave up a future first-round pick. He's played all 17 games. He's made an impact. Now they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. Which is what a wonderful fit he's been for Paul Maurice. And when they weren't going well, right? They still were comfortable in all the situations. Even last night, for that matter. But I wanted to just bring this up quickly. His first Stanley Cup against Vancouver, they won. They lost to Chicago. They lost to St. Louis. His first cup was in 11. He's now playing in 25, Skaz. Is 4 in, what's that, 14 years good? 4 Stanley Cups in 14 years. I think that's good. But he only has the one. Here's my take, and I'll save it for later. If Brad Marchand wins 2 Stanley Cups, does it put him ahead of Patrice Bergeron? I said it. If he wins another Stanley Cup, does it put him ahead of Patrice Bergeron?
How many Selkies Bergeron win?
Don't care. How many rings did Bergeron win?
Yeah, maybe if he wins the Conn Smythe or something like that.
How many rings did Bergeron win?
1. He should have won more. They just like to blame the goalie in this town instead of the guys that, supposed to put the puck in the net. But
do you think Marchand having success in Florida is a product of maybe the Bruins?
Well, I think he looks better. He's on the third line. He's got better matchups. He actually has skilled players around him that, elite talent, something the Bruins lack, severely. It's Pasternak and everybody else this year. So, yeah, I think Marchand looks, how he should look on a team that's built like Florida. He's a difference maker. He's out there getting, mismatches, grinding against guys, and he's looked tremendous in the playoffs. I thought he was going to be a good addition for Florida. He's been great. He's been, 14 points or whatever it is in their games. He's been, better than advertised, as you said. So the Bruins had to trade him. They had to get something for him. I think, it would have been a disservice to them and to Marchand if he was still here.
There are plenty of NHL players that have won multiple championships.
And Joe, someone did say the Lightning went back-to-back in 20 and 21.
Why did I think just 17?
Pittsburgh went back-to-back 16-17. Tampa Bay did it 2021.
I didn't mention my bad. Whoops.
Hey, they're out there.
Joe, don't forget. Don't forget, Joe. If Marchand wins in Florida, it reminds me of the Ray Allen situation. Went somewhere else, won, and it helped his career. I don't think the Bruins were going to help Brad Marchand's career. I think we can all agree on that, right? I think that this could solidify. I already thought he was a Hall of Famer. This might put the nail in the coffin. All right. That's on the table tonight. 617-779-0985. Ooh, that's a good one. I just like to oh, yeah. I'd like to throw some more, like, gasoline on that one. Get some firewood, chop some up in the back. Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one. We'll do that soon. Maybe we'll ask Bill Speros later. We'll hit the headline here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Telfair Tire Studios, WBC FM and HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy.
The Sports Hub. All right, what do we got? What's on tonight? We got Edmonton and the Stars. Ooh, the New York Knicks. What's going on there? Ooh, Knicks fans, how you feeling?
I think the Knicks win tonight.
Really?
Maybe I'm just hoping that because I want more basketball. I don't want to just, OKC's winning. It's over. But I'd like to see a couple more games.
You sure? You sure about that?
I mean, I don't want to do the minus 800 thing because we saw how that ended up for the Celtics when they were minus 800. But I believe the OKC is minus 800 to win the title right now. Minus 750 in some places if you're looking for value.
Well, if you're looking for the numbers, Skaz, I'm your man.
That's true. Joey numbers.
According to DraftKings, Oklahoma City Thunder minus 750 to win the Stanley O'Brien.
It's pretty good odds.
Pacers are plus 650.
Yeah, I think what OKC's doing is historic. They're that good. They could have the most wins. I think they'd either be first or second all time with how many wins they'd have if they won the title, like 84 or 83 or something like that. So they're unbelievable. SGA's been incredible. People might hate watching them because of the flops. I think that's overblown as most things are these days. But they're the best team in the league. The Celtics were not beating them. You couldn't even beat the Knicks, so I don't want to hear that. You were down 3-1, even with Tatum. So OKC's the best team in the league. They're going to be a problem out west. It's just what happens when they start to hit the second apron. So they probably have another year, maybe two, depending on how creative Presti and Dagnall want to get. But I think SGA is having one of the best seasons an NBA player has ever had this year.
Do you think this Thunder... I was going to do this another night, but you know what? Let's do it. Who's a better Thunder team, this or the one that lost in 12-13?
It's this one. That other Thunder team may have had better players at their peak. You know, Durant, Westbrook, Harden. I'll give you that. Durant, Hall of Famer. All three of them Hall of Famers. But a basketball team that plays basketball, it's this one, and it's not close. They have 7, 8 guys who they can throw out there and defend, can hit a couple buckets. And another thing, too, just looking at what they've done to everybody in the playoffs, Nikola Jokic should have been the MVP. SGA, tremendous. We've given him his flowers, but Jokic took an injured Michael Porter Jr. and half of Jamal Murray to 7 games against that OKC team by himself. I know Aaron Gordon was incredible in that series. He was awesome, but just what OKC has done to everybody else compared to that series against the Nuggets, Jokic is as real of a deal as it gets. He deserves. They got to help him out if the West is gonna, someone's gonna compete with OKC.
So I just looked up the old roster. It was Westbrook, Durant, Harden was the 6th man.
Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka, Kendrick Perkins, and Thabo Sefolosha.
Yeah, Thabo Sefolosha. Yeah, unfortunately, he had that whole incident where he got his leg broken and stuff. Yeah. That was awful.
Derek Fisher was a point guard.
Yeah, he sucks.
Reggie Jackson was BC guy off the bench. Cole Aldrich was another big. Along with Nick
Collison. He was really good on that team.
Mm-hmm. Naz Muhammad as well.
Another good defender, big guy.
But that's a team. And you think that this one's better, and it's not even close.
They're gonna run away with the title. They're gonna have 80-something wins. Yeah, I think Durant, Westbrook, and Harden are tremendous Hall of Fame, elite, all-time basketball players. They were a great team. I don't think they're as good as this one. Maybe we call Bryson up and get Bryson's opinion.
Oh my God,
this.
I can't believe we didn't think of that.
Yeah,
maybe Monday next week.
All right, in. I'll reach out to him.
Done.
Bryson. I think he might be there. He's probably back in Oklahoma City now.
He graduated. Pacers Thunder final. So, again, we talked about this last night. They're not paying the tax. I don't think it's ever happened, both teams. I got to reach out to Keith Smith.
I call him Keith Smart because he's smart.
See, you did. That was a you.
I got you.
You got me. All right. Well, you can. That's on the table. Is this Thunder team really better than that? I mean, the other one didn't win, so.
You just said Marchand, kiss the rings, Joe. SGA, kiss the ring. I don't know if he wins it.
Josh and Lowell. What's up, Josh?
What's up, my guy, Big Joe? How you doing?
How you doing?
So I just wanted to touch base real quick with the discussion we were having about, comparing like the Marchand to Ray Allen thing. I think there's a couple really big, significant points to be brought up. Like, number one, Ray Allen was turned into kind of a diva at the end. He wanted to leave. I mean, we offered him, he offered him a minuscule amount more comparatively for, as far as rich NBA players go, a little bit more to go there, and he just took the bait. Marshy didn't want to leave. The Bruins, I feel like it's more comparable to like when Borky left, because when Borky left, he said, get the best haul you can for me, just send me to a contender. I don't even think Marshy asked for that. We were nice enough, like Don Sweeney, maybe from that Borky experience, was like, hey, we're going to send you a contender because you poured your heart and soul into this team. And I hate to bring up Facebook. Marchand just saying, I didn't want to go, but, if this is the place I was going to have to be sent to, this is the place I want to go to. He's a great addition to the team, and I hate Kachuk. I hate all those guys. But at the same time, I'm happy for Marchand because he didn't want to go. He didn't pull a Ray Allen and be vindictive towards the team or anything like that. And as far as I can tell, just through the media or whatever else the fans get to see, he's never been mad at the Bruins or anything about it. He might not come back, and that's perfectly understandable. I just think those are like really big points that you have to compare bring up when you're comparing the two. That's all.
Hey,
thanks,
Josh.
Big Joe. Thanks for letting me ramble.
Real quick,
yep.
Josh.
Yep.
Are you friends with Ray Bork?
I wish I was.
You calling him Borky?
I don't hockey lingo, Joe. Why you got to call me out on it? That's just.
Well, I had to ask.
Rude.
I had to ask if you were friends.
Oh no, I wish I was. I mean, I've met the man a couple times, but that's the most I could say towards that. I call him Borky because also he was my dad's favorite player. He's my favorite player of all time. So I mean,
Borky.
And I mean, I would. What if I called him Marshy? If I called Marchand Marshy, would you still call me out?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fair enough then, Joe. You're fair and balanced. I got it.
That's the only way we work on this show, bro. No moral high ground, fair and balanced. Like, I only do that with my friends. Have you ever called Felger Felgy?
I don't believe so.
I don't think I
maybe
have
in jest, but I don't think so.
I
don't think I've ever called you Joey before.
No. Scazzy?
No, thank you. I'll pass.
Jakey? Hey, Jakey. Does he like that?
Hard no.
Ah!
Hard no.
We got Trey back there.
Hey, Trey, you can just throw a Y on it. Doesn't
Trey, how you doing, Trey?
Yeah, one of my buddies is Trey with a Y.
He's
yeah.
out. He doesn't like it either, right? Trey? You like Trey or no? He does. All right, then. Who else? Freddie? Hardy? Wallachie? Oh, Johnny.
McConey
or Timmy?
Timmy for sure.
Zoe. Maki.
Scotty.
Huh.
A lot of Jimmys.
Yeah. Mazzy.
It's already Tony.
Jimmy Sleeves. All right. Well, we went through the roster. Maddie McCarthy. That's a wicked, Boston name. You know, Maddie McCarthy from Southie or Quincy. Nope. Oh, he's from Weymouth.
That should be a really good lead-in tomorrow. Those guys, their poor baseball team
we get the
tomorrow.
Baseball boys tomorrow.
Oh yeah, the whole crew tomorrow. Well, I don't know if Maz will be there. Who knows on Fridays? But
Milky.
Yeah, Milky. I don't know if I can call him that. Yeah, Milliken.
Milky.
Milliken. Some driving issues lately.
Oh, whoa.
I don't know if you saw that earlier today. I heard that.
I know. I've been, dude. I don't. This isn't that I don't listen to our radio station.
You're busy today.
I put my energy into other things sometimes. Yeah, I was busy.
Yeah, apparently Milliken hit his girlfriend's car in her driveway. I think backing out or something. We'll have to ask him about it tomorrow.
Well, listen, no, I'm not getting into that right now. Been a lot of speculation going on about. I'm not doing it. What would be the nickname for the guy we're having on next?
Maybe we'll have to. Eli Ivacic? I don't know. Evie. Maybe Evie? Allie?
Evie.
Allie, maybe? I don't know. Allie?
All right. Well, we're going to talk to this man.
Revs have some goalie pedigree, Joe. I mean, Matt Turner, Petrovic, these guys go on to success. Could be talking to a guy. I hope he stays with the Revs, but you never know with these Revs goalies.
All right. Well, we're going to do that next, everybody. Revolution, the keeper of the soccer balls, will be joining us next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
98.5 The Sports Hub. And, well, joining us right now is the keeper of the New England Revolution. It's Aljaz Ivacic joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Good evening, sir. How are you today? It's been a crazy 24 hours for you, huh?
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been pretty busy.
Oh, yeah. So talk about last night. We had the game on here on the radio broadcast. It was a 1-1 draw in D.C., but can you talk a little bit about the game? And, you flew home late last night. You're practicing today. You got a game coming up on Saturday. What was last night like for you, and how you feeling today?
Yeah, it was a tough game on the road. When you look back, I think we should have won the game, given the circumstances that we conceded a goal in the last minute. So it's a little disappointing. But the good thing is that it's a quick turnaround. We have a next game on Saturday, so we have to focus now and look forward.
All right, so you're the keeper of the team, goalkeeper of the team, your second season with the club. You started every MLS game for the Revs since signing. What was it that made you sign? I know you were with the Timbers in the past, but can you talk about playing for the Revolution and playing in every game?
No, it's been good. It's been good. Very happy here. Feel appreciated in the club. Everything's nice. The city is beautiful. It's a bonus too that is closer to Europe. Time difference is smaller, so I can communicate with my family way easier than before. But the most important thing is, of course, soccer, and I'm very happy here, and happy that I've been healthy too, so I can play every game and help the team as much as I can.
Well, do you ever look at the stats? Like, you ever look around the league and? Right now, tied for second in fewest goals allowed in the MLS, and you've been a big part of the defensive turnaround. You got a good defense in front of you. Can you just talk about, some of the challenges in the turnaround this year for the Revs defense?
Yeah, credit to the guys. I think it's mostly because of them. There's many games that I didn't have much work to do. Maybe some games that I had to make saves, but a lot of games that they did a great job in front of me. So credit to them, but we didn't start the season as we wanted. But then now last games we are unbeaten, and also we have a lot of games on the road, which is very hard in this league. So I think we've been pretty good, especially last 8 games. But credit to the coaching staff too, because since they changed the formation, we were unbeaten.
Well, the fan voting for the MLS All-Star Game just opened up on Wednesday, so get out there and vote, everybody. You can vote now until June 11th. So, I don't know, man. Second fewest goals allowed in MLS. That sounds pretty good to me. You've had some success in the past. You were on the Portland Timbers, right? You guys reached the MLS Cup final in 2021. Yeah. Do you think this team has what it takes to go on a run like you did back then?
It takes a lot of work. It's not easy. Winning is not easy. It's dedication and hard work every day that maybe people don't see, behind the scenes. You need to sacrifice every day in order to then win at the end. So we'll have to be consistent in that, and then, time will show. But long term, if you work hard, if you believe in yourself, if you're consistent, I think you get what you deserve.
I got to ask you a question as a keeper, right? How do you time? Is it do you how much video review do you do on, let's say a kick, right? Like, this guy likes to go right, or he likes to go top corner. Like, is it a gut instinct for you? Really, what's it like? Is it coaching? Is it just knowing the player? Is it timing? Can you go over that? Because, man, it's hard. You can't just be guessing out there.
No, you can't. You can't be guessing, because if you lean to one way and then you get beaten on the other side, you have to wait and hold your ground as long as you can. But yes, we analyze a lot before the game, set pieces, PKs, corners, free kicks, and everything. Finishing from the strikers, where are they in the box? What areas do they like? So we prepare for that. We look at their body language, how they run up on the PK, or set pieces, what areas they like to target. So it's a lot of video that can help you prevent some situation, but at the end, on the field, the game is unpredictable and anything can happen. So you need to be calm and wait for the striker, let's say, to make the first move, and then you react. Because if you guess, that's an easy way out, and you cannot do that.
Yeah, Aljaz, you've done a tremendous job this year, 6 clean sheets. But I know the Revolution have a kind of a goalie tradition where the goalies purchase donuts for the team, Dunkin' Donuts for the team after every shutout. So are you like on first name basis with your local Dunkin'? You got to be going there all the time. And like, is that something like, is that a camaraderie thing? Obviously it was passed on to you, but just team building for the Revs. It seems like you guys have really kind of turned a corner over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, no, it's a nice tradition. I'm happy when I have to wake up and go get donuts. It means that we were successful, for the weekend, or we had a clean sheet. So I'm happy with that. I hope I'll get many more.
Well, you mentioned the donuts. I mean, what's your favorite donut at Dunkin'?
To be honest with you, I haven't tried one.
Good. You know why? Because you look like me. I love donuts. I love a you ever had a Boston cream pie?
No, I believe they're good.
Oh.
But before training, I cannot have one. I'm trying to eat healthy.
Well, I'll tell you. One day you go get a Boston cream pie. All right, it's
Boston cream sounds good.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good. It's very good, and also a coffee.
Okay.
Roll. A lot of nice little glaze on there if you like a glaze as well. Aljaz Ivacic joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. He's the Revolution keeper. We mentioned the All-Star game. You want to shout out any of your defenders? Who do you think's who should fans be voting for to get into the MLS All-Star game this year?
I would vote all of them. The back line, 5 of them, whoever's there is going to be well-deserved because they've been amazing. All the clean sheets that we had, they were about them, not about the goalkeeper. So, shout out to everyone. I can mention individuals now, but back 5, all of them, they deserve to be there, and I would be very happy for my teammates to be there.
Who's like your biggest influence? Did you always want to be a keeper? Did you ever play another position? Who are some of the keepers of the past that have influenced you?
My father was a goalkeeper, not on a high level or professional level.
Wow.
More like an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
But he happened natural. I was a midfielder first, but not very good, let's say. So you put at the young age you put the worst guy in goal, and that was me. I wasn't the best field player, so they put me in goal, and then since then I've been a goalkeeper.
Did your dad help you? Did he give you any advice, or did you ever have a tough game and you reached for him and he kind of helped you, or you learned along the way and was an influence?
No, for sure, and he wakes up every, because in Europe the games are 2 a.m., 3 a.m. He watches every game. He sends me a message, So yeah, very helpful. And at the end of the day, I got his athleticism. So.
Yeah, that's right. It's in the bloodline, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you can tell him that this interview is going to be on YouTube. So if he just searches your name, he'll be able to watch this later on tonight. Real quick, you're Slovenian, right? So you're from. So there's some big athletes, right? I know Anze Kopitar's won in the NHL. Luka Doncic, right? Is he the most famous? And has everybody asked you about the trade?
Yes, and he's the most famous Slovenian athlete or personality by far. So, I think everyone knows Luka Doncic, and he's a big, big star in our country.
Oh, he's a big star, and now he's in L.A., which is a.
Now he's in L.A.
Do you know that there's a big rivalry between L.A. and Boston and New England?
Is it? I don't know.
Yes. Oh. Let me tell you, man. So back in the 80s, I'll say the 80s, okay? But in the 2000s, too, Boston versus L.A. was one of the biggest rivalries going, especially in basketball.
Oh.
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, it was big. It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think what do you think's the biggest rivalry in the MLS?
Good question. We definitely don't have one.
See, no, yeah, but this could be good, right? Like, could it be New York and New England, right? Could the Red Bulls and Revolution, like, could that be something? Like, how do we create a rivalry?
I think that's more about the fans. They create that more than players.
Good
So
answer.
it's more. I think it's more about them. Arguing who's better, or it's more about fan base. I would say.
I like that. And hey, listen, the fans, we talk a lot of Patriots, like your partners there, but Revolution, the people want soccer. Like they come out, right? They come out to the games. You guys do events. They come out. We're talking about it here on the radio, so you got our support as well. And hey, tell us about the game. What are some of the things you're looking ahead to on Saturday against Montreal?
Yeah, it's a game that it's definitely a winnable game. Yes, we play on the road, and in this league, every game on the road is very challenging. That's for sure. But it's the game that we have to win now, especially after the last 3 games, where I can say we dropped points. So now we have a big opportunity before the break that we can get 3 points, and hopefully that's going to happen. We'll do everything that it's in our power to do that, and hopefully we'll be successful.
Well, Aljaz Ivacic, I appreciate you joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We got all your games, so you'll be hearing you in net as the keeper for the New England Revolution. And when the season ends, I'm telling you, go get that Boston cream. You're going to love it.
Okay, I trust you.
Hey,
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, and good luck this season, okay? Take care.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. Aljaz Ivacic. Thank you, sir.
I'm a fan.
Gotta get him.
I like him.
Hey, listen, Eli Feingold got the bump the other night.
Yeah. What's the goal? Just a couple more clean sheets?
That's all we need.
They got to win on Saturday. Montreal is their Colorado Rockies bad right now.
What's the baseball version of a clean sheet? Is it just a clean...
A shutout.
Oh, a shutout.
Like for a starting pitcher? You sure a lot more work on the starting pitcher there, but yeah, you never know. Could be a 10-save game. I liked history, sports history with Joe there. A little lesson in the call. I'm in on that.
Wait, what'd you get? Oh, yeah.
Boston sports history with Joe and Aljaz. I like it. I would agree, though. MLS could use. I know there are rivalries, but they could use some more.
How do we start one?
Like the Revolution in Chicago, kind of. They try and build that. The Fire and the Revolution as a rivalry. It's
Can I give you something on that? Just thinking about that. MLS is here to stay. Like, it's got a big deal with Apple. I have a crew of guys that are just Revs fans who tag me on everything because they know we talk about it that night. Why aren't you guys talking about this? And I get it. There's some storylines to the team. Having a rivalry, though? Like, let me just... I know this is funny, but like when... Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi, like, I know it's a different thing, but it was a rivalry, right? Like, on some of our favorite shows, right? Are you a Tracy or an Olivia person? Are you, are you Dorit or Lewin? Like, these are, there's always battles.
I was always a Karen over Pam guy.
They go Karen over Pam.
Karen Filippelli guy.
Do you get what I mean? Like, MLS needs one.
Yeah, like I know the Red Bulls are kind of there, but yeah, let's throw some logs on the fire.
What about Brucey?
Brucey, yeah, it's just West Coast, so it's tough. They're not as close, but
that's good.
Yeah, you can build something there.
Could we get one?
But that's a very short. You're just having a rivalry because of a coach who was good here. Left. I don't know. You need more. I think more kindling there.
Aljaz Ivacic from Slovenia. Did you know that Kopitar was from there as well?
I did not know that.
You know Goran Dragic. I was going to mention him.
Goran.
Sasha Vujacic.
Yes.
He played for the Lakers.
Jan Oblak is like a big soccer star that's there too. One of the best goalies in the world right now.
Wow, dude. I have gotten emails, not about Revs, just about... we got to go over it. Let's do this now. We'll go to break. We'll do that.
We're going to do the email segment.
No. I'm following up on some takes that people have per my emails. So not the email segment. We'll go to break on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sport.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports. You know, Skaz, we're on YouTube, so people can just type whatever they want, which is what we want. I want that. So on Twitter, somebody wrote, X, things we'd say, look who Celtics played last year, so why aren't we looking at who OKC has beaten? Maybe we should look that up, Skaz, who the OKC beat to go to the final. I also got an email from a sir that I don't know his name, but he titled it, "You're a small-time clown." Well, clown like I'm funny? Clown like I amuse you? Clown how? Like it? Like bozo? Small time? Or big time? I mean, there's a small, I'll take it. That's a compliment. I'm a small time clown. I'll take that. Better than being a big time clown. We have callers as well. Corey's in Taunton. Hello, Corey.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey.
So, Joe, this has been aggravating me for a couple months.
What has it been doing?
It's been aggravating me. Okay? This is right after Luka got traded to the Lakers. Okay? Now, if you watch the game, there's a sequence where Tatum gets the steal from LeBron, passes it to Derek White. He goes back, gets fouled by LeBron, goes to make his foul shots. Now, if you watch it, Tatum goes up to him and he says, "Hey, you're supposed to pass me the ball." And Derek White looks at him with this crazy face. And he says, "I'm supposed to pass you the ball?" And I just feel like it's the Tatum mentality. You know, like, hey, me first. I gotta get my stats. I need my MVP instead of worrying about winning the game and bringing us another championship. And I was just wondering if you guys seen that.
I have not, but may I ask you a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Did you watch Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards recently?
I did not.
Okay. Do you know who he is?
Of course.
Do you think that do you think he's saying that to the guys on Memphis? You're supposed to pass me the ball? Not Memphis, Minnesota?
You know what? Knowing the kind of personality Anthony Edwards is, I would say yes.
So people think that Tatum is timid and not the alpha, but yet you'll say that Anthony Edwards is.
Because Anthony Edwards plays like it. Anthony Edwards stands up for his teammates when they go at him. Give me one instance, Joe, that Jason Tatum has stood up for his players, like Jaylen Brown does.
I don't want him to.
Why not?
Because he's the best player on the team.
Yeah, he's the best player on the team when the lights are on him and it's Madison Square Garden and it's LeBron and the Lakers. But when it comes to grind and to get it done, he hasn't gotten it done.
So
I'm sorry,
are you
Joe.
wait, he hasn't gotten it done?
He has gotten it done.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Listen.
You are talking out of your ass.
I'm not talking out of my ass.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that. I would rather have
You would rather what? A championship or not a championship?
Well, we don't have a championship this year, do we?
I don't know. The season hasn't ended. They did win last year. I don't know.
We did. We did. And a lot of that was because
you were a part of that?
Jaylen Brown.
Oh, Jaylen Brown, the guy that didn't show up this year?
Who also had a torn MCL, am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, but Tatum did hurt his
Tatum's
wrist. I'm sorry.
Tatum's Achilles. Oh, that's okay.
No, listen, nobody's coming back from Achilles, obviously.
What are you saying, sir?
I'm saying I think we would get more out of the team if it wasn't so Tatum-driven.
How'd that work when Tatum didn't play?
Well, I think it would have worked better if we had a full, healthy Jaylen Brown, and we can't really judge that because we didn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we wouldn't have.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, well, fair enough, Joe.
No, it's not fair. No, I want to have a healthy discussion about this.
Yeah. Like I said, I just think it's known amongst the team that, hey, Tatum needs to get his assists. Tatum needs to get his points.
Okay, so what about Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards doesn't play for the Celtics.
Yes, but
and
why are you not calling in today saying this about Anthony Edwards, who just lost and his team lost again, and they didn't go to the finals? They just lost again.
I know.
What, you're doing this Tatum thing when Anthony Edwards literally just did this yesterday?
Peed down his leg. I know.
So why are you doing Tatum? Tatum's leg can't even be peed on.
Good point. You're right, Joe. You're right.
Wow. Yes, I'm right. What are you doing tonight? What did you do tonight? What made you call?
What made me call is because, truthfully, just made me call just because I had to.
You wanted to say, hi, Joe. How are you? Let me wind you up, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
What are you eating tonight?
Oh, man, jeez. Well, what did I have tonight? I had myself country fried chicken sandwich with no pickles. Can't have the pickles, Joe. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am a non-pickle guy.
I'm fine with that.
See? Thank you. See? Beautiful. Do you prefer pickles on any other sandwich, Joe?
I don't want pickles on a sandwich.
Thank you. Yes, you are the man, Joe.
Yes.
Agreed.
So where was it from?
I got a Popeyes.
Thank you.
What was his point?
Popeye's chicken sandwiches.
My biggest takeaway from that call was, hey, guy doesn't like pickles.
Yeah. Just if you're gonna just call in and say what's up, Joe. Don't wind me up. Hey, want to play in or out?
Sure.
Let's do that next here on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Just like the perfect suit, testosterone replacement therapy is not one.
Murray pre-party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed. All right, it's in or out here on 98.5 The Sport. And I kind of liked it.
I like it.
It was different, but
Yeah.
I think it would be too long. Jake Seymour, everybody, who did the off-air show tonight. Who's the off-air show with again?
It was Felger and Big Jim Murray today.
And you are formerly, the last time you were on the show, our meat eater.
Yes, we did the chicken nugget contest.
I was the winner of the chicken nugget contest.
Street Team Joe had no business being in the same class as you when it comes to chicken nuggets. No business.
Save that one. All right, let's do some in or out. Jake Seymour's here, everybody.
All right, gentlemen. Jake and Joe's here.
Jake and Joe.
We're going to start.
There's got to be a sponsorship deal.
We're going to start a Thursday night edition of In or Out. We're going to start with some Pop-Tarts. Because of the Fantastic Four coming out this summer, Pop-Tarts are re-releasing Frosted Blue Raspberry Pop-Tarts for the first time since 2018. Gentlemen, are we in or out on Frosted Blue Raspberry Pop-Tarts?
In.
Totally in. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Sugar, blue, Pop-Tart, in.
I never had the Pop-Tarts growing up. Like, I always get, like, the knockoff brands. It's like, my mom was like, we have Pop-Tarts at home kind of thing. But totally in on this.
I am a room temperature Pop-Tart guy. I used to get them out of a vending machine.
I think Pop-Tarts are the best when they're in the toaster. Easily.
I would
you get
agree.
that kind of like crispiness to it. Stands out.
I'm missing out.
I would agree with that.
Does it burn your tongue?
What about the air fryer? Never tried that.
In. How long?
Got to be only like
400 3 minutes?
No, that might be too much.
400 2 minutes. I'm a 4. Skaz, there's no 350 here. I go right to 400, baby. Next.
All right, the Champions League final is this weekend. It will be Inter Milan versus PSG. But, Joe, we have an alt broadcast for the Champions League final. Beckham and Friends will be doing an alt broadcast. It'll be David Beckham and Tom Cruise. Are we in or out on Beckham and Friends alt broadcast of the Champions League final with Tom Cruise?
If Neil was here, he'd be in. Remember, I think the other night he said he's a big Tom Cruise guy.
I'm a big Tom Cruise guy as well.
Risky Business, Few Good Men, Top Gun.
Jerry Maguire.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Fine and fine.
I'm out. I'm not for these alt casts, whatever you want to call them. Like the Manning brothers, they do it and it works for them. But are you telling me when you watch Monday Night Football, you watch the Manning cast instead of the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman? No way.
No.
And I don't do that for any other sporting event. I don't care what half the time I had the TV muted, by the way, when I watch these games. I'm just focused on the play. So I'm totally out 100% on the altcast. I want to watch the game, and that's it. Don't give me all this crap.
I feel like Tom Cruise would be a dumpster fire. I really want to watch it.
I feel like he's too polished to ever be a dumpster fire. I feel like you could put him in any scenario and he would...
Like Mission Impossible?
Literally, yes, kind of, yeah. He's doing all the stunts anyways.
Boom, 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 boom. Next.
All right, we'll head to the world of college basketball for this one. Someone Massachusetts residents will be very familiar with. The NCAA president, Charlie Baker,
I know
says
him.
one of his top priorities is expanding March Madness. We've been talking about 72 and 76. Gentlemen, are we in or out on expanding March Madness?
Jake?
Out 110%. The first four is a total joke. Get that out of the sport. They don't need that at all.
It is, because
Total joke.
Bubba got UNC in. They won the first round, got their big money, and then they got bounced and smoked.
The NCAA is great because you don't know what's going to happen, and the teams, a lot of different teams get in of different calibers. So the fact that we just keep getting these Power 5 team or Power 4 teams now get thrown in there, it's ridiculous. We don't need it.
I'm out because I feel like the committee is suspect. I feel like if they wanted to add 4 more teams, it's like 4 more teams that they want a money grab.
Exactly.
It's
that's
not,
why you're on
it's
it.
not for the Cinderella or any of that.
But that's what makes March Madness so great is that it's not money driven. It's about the Cinderellas. We saw NC State last year, or 2 years ago, 2024.
Yeah, the big
They
guy.
went all the way through. Yeah.
That guy.
You saw all those guys do that. We don't need They got in because they won their tournament. They won the ACC. They got in and went on a run. That's great for the sport. You don't need to have the runner-up in the NC tournament or the ACC tournament get in over NC State. I don't like it.
DJ Burns.
Jake's got takes.
Shout out DJ Burns.
Yeah, that's our guy. What was his nickname? The Frit? No.
DJ Horn
Microwave?
too?
No.
Yeah, DJ.
It was a.
He had a good nickname.
Kitchen.
Yeah. Someone will tell us. In the
Super
chat.
nice guy.
Oh, you know him?
Oh, I was talked to him at the Final Four. He was very nice.
Jake's-
Very with the media.
What's he doing now?
Very good.
Jake's
I don't
at
know what
these
he's doing
things.
now, but I'll tell you, with his media availability, was very generous with his time.
Do you think
which I did appreciate as a member.
Do you think he would eat a Boston cream pie?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Okay.
All right, sticking with basketball, LeBron James's The Shop is returning. It'll be live from Fanatics Fest with guests Tom Brady and Wemby. Are we in or out on Brady and Wemby joining LeBron James's The Shop?
I'm in.
You got to be in on this.
Yeah, I have to be in.
I like the Players podcast. I do. That's kind of a take that I don't know if I have with a lot of other things, but I like the players and hear what they think and not getting it through another foreign media. It's good to hear just from them.
Well, Card Vault by Tom Brady just opened in the Hamptons, and so go check that out. And as they're at Fanatics Fest this week. Next,
All right, we'll head to the world of movies for this next one. Mamma Mia 3 is in the works.
Out.
And one pop singer who may have had the most famous Joe Murray song of the summer last year, Sabrina Carpenter, is eyed to be the star of Mamma Mia 3. Are we in or out?
Out on 3, in on Sabri.
So I'm not a movie guy. I've never seen the movies at all. So I got to say I'm out.
I've never seen Mamma Mia either. Not a musicals guy, I'll say that.
Bill Speros is here. We have to let him in.
Yeah, we'll
wait. Sorry,
we'll let him
Bill.
in.
We got this is important.
That's what happens when there's only a couple people in the building,
I'm sorry
you know?
about that.
Sticking with movies, though, Jackie Chan says he's ready to make Rush Hour 4.
Yes!
He said, hurry up, otherwise Chris Tucker and I will be 100 years old. We'll be old men doing Rush Hour. Now, I'll say this. I'm 100% in on this. Rush Hour 2 is one of my all-time favorite. Just put it on and have a couple laughs. Are we in or out on Rush Hour 4?
In!
So I'm not sure if I'm all in on the movie stars coming back when they're older and trying to go back and do what they did in their glory days. Like Irishman, right? Perfect example of that. Robert De Niro looked like an old man in that, just CGI to look younger. The way he moved, like that scene he's beating up the guy on the curb.
That was sad.
That was, I don't need to see that.
You know
I
what,
don't
though?
need to see that.
You know what's funny? The first time I watched it, I felt the way you did. The second time I watched it, I liked it.
So you see, I was the opposite. I loved it the first time. Second time, I started noticing those things, and it was hard to pick up and ignore it throughout the other times you watch it. So I'm out on this.
Okay.
All right, sticking with movies, we will end with this one tonight. Bryan Cranston, one of your favorite shows, being eyed to play Professor X in James Gunn's new DC world. Are we in or out on Bryan Cranston as Professor X?
Walter White universe, Professor X. This is like the biggest in of the night for me. In.
So I'm unfamiliar with this. But if you're in, I got to be in.
Well, the only other guy could have been the guy from Star Trek.
Yes. Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Who else? Come on. Like Mike Myers as Dr. Evil? Come on. Give me.
I thought McAvoy was good. The guy is it James McAvoy, I think? I thought he was pretty good, but no, Bryan Cranston I think would be very good at this.
He looked like Heisenberg. Did you guys ever watch Breaking Bad?
I never did. It's on my watch list.
Never seen it.
Jay. Oh my. Trey? Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
Nope. 0 for 3.
Can I
call us
I know we're up against it, but can I give you a synopsis in 30 seconds or less?
I know he has a kid that's sick. He was
Walter
a
White has
teacher.
cancer.
He
He's
has
a
cancer.
teacher
I'm
and has
sorry.
no money.
He starts making
His
meth, right? And
student
drugs.
makes meth. Well, he's the greatest chemistry teacher in history and made the greatest meth of all time. Made lots of money to save his family. Then his family found out, and it got bad and worse. And then the cartel got involved. And then he found a man named Saul Goodman. And then the cartel again. Then the cartel. Then the chicken man.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito, right?
Then he was in The Last of Us. Lalo, did you see it?
No,
Did you watch?
I haven't watched recently yet.
I watched. I caught on, Skaz. I caught up.
I kind of tapped out, but I'll get back into it.
It was actually, was it Monday? I can't remember. Monday night? I can't remember what night I did it. But I watched the last.
Yeah, that's what people have said. It rebounded a little bit.
Now I'm starting to wonder who the story's about. Is it about Joel and her, or is it about the other girl?
I think it's going to be about Abby for season 3 is what they're saying.
You know, I learned the other day, my dad told me this, that Breaking Bad and High School Musical take place in the same town in California. So there's a strong possibility that Troy had the Breaking Bad guy as his chemistry teacher.
Well, Breaking Bad was in New Mexico, I thought.
Oh, it was in New Mexico? I thought it was California.
Well, it's close enough, right?
I have no
Plus,
idea.
You're from Arizona.
Yeah,
You go to school in Arizona, right?
Pretty close.
All right, we got to go to Bill Speros, everybody, bookies.com. The Herald, we got to let him in the building. Well, I'll do a long headline. How about that? We'll be back here next on 98.5 The Sports.
From the Tell Your Times. Sports Hub, Beasley Media Group Station.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, we got hockey. Or do we? It was 3-0. What do we got now? We have 3-1. Edmonton wins. They move on. They'll take on who? Brad Marchand. NBA scoreboard. New York Knicks have a 56-45 lead. Karl Anthony Towns already with a double-double. How about that? What else? That's it. Hey, there's nothing going on. So what was that Pop-Tart again that you were talking about? Blue what? Blue raspberry? Blue raspberry. You know, that reminds me of a slush puppy. Remember slush puppies? Did you ever pump them yourself?
Oh, yeah.
What is that liquid that spews? Like, what is that?
Slush. Slush,
No. Why is that what makes it taste so good? Did you ever have a Richie's slush?
Oh, yeah. Out of the bathtub there?
That's out of Everett.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes when I'm trying to get on Route 16 over there, I can't because everyone's trying to get a slushy. Oh, Skaz, if we had a tub of that. Oh. My favorite's watermelon.
I'm a lemon guy.
Well, listen, I'll go half and half.
Done.
What would we call that? Boats and Joes? Have you ever had a Richie slush, Trey? Has he ever had a slush puppy? What about a Slurpee from 7-Eleven? There we go.
Yes.
All right. College kids. All right, headlines. Is that what these are? They're brought to you by our good friends, and they are our good friends over at John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. Keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area since 1976. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm Joe Murray, and, well, we'll find out what Bill Speros has going on.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Plays lacrosse. I never played lacrosse. Did you?
I played lacrosse in high school. I had the lax hair and everything, flowing out of the helmet.
You had it?
I had long hair, Joe. Like shoulders, we're talking. Oh, yeah. Flow. Serious flow.
Scazarino?
Oh, yeah. Scaz, yeah.
And
I wasn't very good.
Did it have your whole name on the back of the jersey?
I don't think we had names on the back.
No, we didn't either.
Yeah.
I never played that.
I was just fast. That was the only thing I ever brought to the table. Nothing else.
Well, so I don't know anything.
Good watch. College lacrosse, a good watch.
I used to do stuff with the Boston Blazers back in the day. And
Boston Cannons.
Cannons. So, you just pick up a stick? Is that what they call it? A stick?
Yeah. Yep.
And you just catch the ball in the.
There's all kinds of different, heads you can put on them, different string methods, all that's different pockets.
And you just whip a ball.
Oh yeah,
at a goal.
That hurts too. That ball's not light. Well, it's light,
Is
but
it
it's
like
compact.
that blue ball we used to throw off the walls?
Yeah, it's usually white. Yeah.
Oh, it's a white ball.
Usually, yes.
You ever play pickleball?
I have never played pickleball. No. Who won last night? Did we?
I don't think I have, and I don't. Think
I don't know either.
Bill Speros is here, everybody. Let's welcome him in. We'll go to break. Anybody know who won the pickleball game? I don't either. Maybe
Gronk did, according to Jake.
Oh, Gronk won? Of course he won. He's a former professional athlete. No, I didn't do it, Skaz. No. You dumped me, didn't you?
Yeah, just out of an abundance of precaution.
Did he dump me, Jake? He dumped me, right?
He said precaution. He did dump you.
I didn't say it, though.
Felger said on the off-air show that it was Gronk. Gronk played with a professional athlete. So it was like a professional pickleball player and Gronk paired up playing against Hardy and Felger.
Oh, they had a ringer.
So Felger said that guy was like wicked good, and then he beat him.
Now, I said a former professional athlete, but the F did sound a little Yui. You got scared. The F was a little Yui in there. I got to tell you. All right, we'll bring in Bill Speros. Next, Bookies, Harold. We're here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming. on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Harvard graduation. No, I did not graduate from Harvard. I could not spell Harvard. I did not go to Harvard. A very close friend of mine and his fiance graduated today. It was a beautiful ceremony. And they conferred honorary degrees in two people you would never expect to get honorary degrees at Harvard University got them today. One was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which was really, really out of the blue. And they don't announce these ahead of time. So you're sitting in Harvard Yard with like 1 million people and trees, and you can't really see the stage. And all of a sudden they just say a 6-time NBA champion. I was like, what? And sure enough, it was Kareem. He got a doctorate of law, honorary doctorate of laws from Harvard University. And I think next year MIT is going to give Robert Parrish a PhD in weed. I think he'll get one in weed next year.
That's what the How High movie was about with Method Man.
Exactly.
They wanted that. That's literally what it was about. Wow.
And the other one was Rita Moreno, which again was just like, this is Harvard, right? You'd expect Einstein, Jonas Salk or something,
She was in the 80 for Brady, right?
Oh, well, that's the funny thing is they rattled off all of her accomplishments. They said and then they go, she was an EGOT. She won an Emmy for this and a Grammy for that and an Oscar for this and a Tony for that. And then after all these wonderful accolades, they said, oh, and she was also an 80 for Brady. And it was kind of like, wow, we better take that degree back. I think they were going to take it back after they realized she was an 80 for Brady.
Just getting back to Kareem for a second. I watch a show called Dave. It's about a rapper named Lil Dicky. And he did like a play on words on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and made a funny video about it. And the show is about Kareem wanting to talk to him because he made this like artistic, put his head on his body, and the Kareem was like, so what's all this about or whatever. But it was just kind of cool. They got along. It wasn't any. It was just kind of a playful little thing. But thinking about it, you covered him. What 80? You said you just brought up. Who did they?
87 finals.
So 87 finals. There you go. And seeing him then, seeing him now, it's a pretty full circle for you, huh?
Yeah. It shows that I'm really old. Well,
I just watched the Celtic City documentary, so I mean, it's so.
I was actually in Celtic City. I
saw you doing an interview, right?
Yes, I was behind Larry Bird. I could smell his hair. It smelled really good. It smelled like Miller Lite and Prel.
Prel? Haven't heard that in a while.
Well, that's what they were using back then. Well, Kareem's he's a very cerebral guy. He's written a ton of books. And I think he was taken aback by it. And it was again, you don't expect Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at Harvard. At least I don't. Not that he wouldn't be smart enough to go there or teach there or lecture there. You just don't put the two together.
So, well, I know on the back page was it the front page or the back page of the Herald? Can never know which one is the main one.
Well, the back page is always the front page as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Well, you had a little article feature on the back there.
Yes, I did.
All right.
I love the back page.
Okay. So
I'm a tabloid guy at heart. What can I say?
Oh, let's get it out of the way. This Jordan Bill thing, and now obviously Belichick's ex, and the Christmas party and whatever. Do you think he's going to make it to be the head coach of North Carolina?
Well, I don't think he's going to quit, and I don't think they want to pay him $30 million. So I think by default he's going to make it. And I know a lot of people say no, but I think they're knee deep into this thing. You can pick any horrific military conflict as an analogy. They're waist deep in big muddy, as they used to say back in the day during Vietnam, and I don't think either side can get out of it. I mean, they can, but again, Belichick, I think he wants to coach. I think he thinks everything is fine. I think he thinks it's wonderful that this woman, 49 years his junior, apparently is running his life. I think there are a lot of people in North Carolina who are not thrilled with him to begin with. And I think that this whole sideshow And I think, and I mentioned it the other day in the paper, I mean, he's become a multimedia punchline. He is a punchline everywhere you look. I mean, they're making Bill Belichick jokes on Fox News. They're making them on, The Tonight Show. They're making them on, every radio station you can listen to, every podcast. I mean, this guy went from like the greatest NFL coach to just like another throwaway line for anybody on any media platform, and it took him less than a year to do it. It's an astounding fall. It's when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to comprehend the scope of it when it's going on. But you're going to look back at this in a couple of years and say, my God, this guy went from such a secluded, he had the aura about him. He was, Darth Belichick and all that. And now, that caller said you were a little clown. He's a big clown now.
Yeah, thank you.
He is a big clown. And it's amazing that, and compare Nick Saban, who knew exactly when to leave. NIL, didn't want to deal with it. Didn't want to deal with this land. He just walked, and his reputation is forever encased in gold and crimson down in Tuscaloosa. And him and Belichick were like literal brothers coming up. And here's one guy who knew when to walk away, did it at the perfect time, still married to Miss Terry after all these years, has done it, at least on the surface, right. And then you have this other guy who, I mean, we don't need to get into it, but his first divorce was a real doozy. Folks, if you want to go on down the rabbit hole, go down the rabbit hole of Bill Belichick's first divorce.
Ooh.
That was vicious and ugly. That was New York tabloid stuff 20 years ago.
I'm sure the brokerage babe in our chat would love to read about that one.
Oh, just his first divorce was ugly and nasty. This whole thing, except, I feel bad for Linda. She's still involved with the foundation. I heard from the foundation after my story came out yesterday, and they're still going to give out their 25 grants this year, and they're still chugging along, and she's putting her name on the award letters like she had done in the past, so she's still the president of his foundation. And the funny thing about his foundation is his name is nowhere to be seen on any of the tax returns or any of the incorporation documents. His 3 children are the directors. They run it, but she's the president. And her name was on the letter sent to that school in California that I connected with in my column the other day. So she's still very active in the foundation in terms of running it.
I'm Team Linda.
I think everybody is Team Linda.
I always thought she was like classy.
Well, that's right. Isn't that the perfect word for it? Yeah, elegant, class.
Elegant, yeah.
She's, as we would say back in the day, she's a lady, right? You would
She's
say
a lady.
You would say that back in the day of someone who had elegance and class and someone who always carried herself very well. And she's managed to hold her fire amid this, Hindenburg of a relationship. And I think each, if you're talking about public perception or reputation or persona, I think hers has grown immensely. And sure, let her friends go housewives on Jordan down in Nantucket. What else would you expect? That's what you'd want. She will be shunned all summer. This will be the summer of Jordan shunning. It'll be like, in the old Game of Thrones with the shame. They're going to march her around on Nantucket with shame and the bells and all that, as it should be.
Well, we were doing in or out earlier, and we were talking Pop-Tarts.
I was, it was funny. You were doing in or out, and I was outside of the building.
I know.
So you could have said Bill Speros. He's out.
He was out. But Bob's in, and he wants to talk about Pop-Tarts. Hey, Bob and Lawrence.
Joe, hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
I just got a great idea. I was on the chat, talk about Pop-Tarts. How about this? Making s'mores out of s'mores Pop-Tarts. Instead of a graham cracker, you use a s'mores Pop-Tart.
Do you know I've done something like that before?
That doesn't surprise me.
It wasn't a Pop-Tart, though. What was it? I used something that was like Might have been like what do you call those when they're filling in the middle of it? My God, why can't I remember what it was? Anyways, I've done it before. But you know what? What about like if you could make a Pop-Tart sandwich, what would be in the middle?
Peanut butter and jelly, and you got to toast the Pop-Tart just right. It's going to be 3 minutes and 30 seconds in the toaster.
Okay.
And
you got anything on that?
Well,
what would go in the middle of a Pop-Tart to make a sandwich?
Well, if you toast it, the peanut butter is going to be a mess. It's going to melt. It's going to run all over the place. So you'd have to put the peanut butter on after you toast it. But then still, you know, when you put peanut butter on toast or anything, it gets all yucky.
What about banana?
A little better. I think it depends on whether or not, if it's not toasted, then I think peanut butter works. But if it's toasted, the peanut butter's a mess.
What about like M&Ms and they melt?
That's a thought.
Actually, maybe like chocolate chips.
I like chocolate chips better than M&Ms because they will melt nicely. That's like a see that now you're onto something. Now you're onto the
marshmallows.
Let's focus on the chocolate chips for a second.
I'm going layers here.
The chocolate chip, it's like a cookie Pop-Tart. If you put chocolate chips on it, it's like a cookie Pop-Tart. Almost, you know, it's like a 2 or 3 for 1 because you could have it as a breakfast food or as a snack or as a dessert if you put chocolate chips on it because then it's a cookie Pop-Tart.
I'm in on this. Hey, do you remember at the malls? This is when I was a kid. Dead Mall is really what I remember. The original cookie. It was like this stand that everything they made was a cookie.
Yeah, and they had the smell like blowing in the mall, like the Cinnabon did.
Cinnabon, man.
Like you'd go and you'd smell it. You'd walk in the mall and they had the fan. And that was actually a literal part of Cinnabon. When they started, that's how they got people. They literally set the fans up in the ovens to blow the smell.
What's the ultimate mall food? Like, Jordan Martin, remember they had the muffins?
Yeah, Jordan Marsh blueberry muffins. Man,
that's like
that's like a sacred. That's like the Boston cream pie at Parker House. That's like you have like these great historic things like the Declaration of Independence, and you have Paul Revere's Ride. You have the Parker House Boston cream pie. You have the original chocolate chip Toll House cookie here in Massachusetts, and obviously that as well. So there's some important, a lot of good history and dessert.
Oh, Cinnabon.
But chocolate chip
pretzels.
Pop-Tarts, that's like it. That's the cookie breakfast. That's like almost 4 meals.
Did you ever meet George Wendt?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I figured cheers, Boston.
Boy, there's a guy you never heard anything bad about, huh?
No.
Like literally every single person. Like that's not going to be the case when I die. Like after the celebration ends, then they're going to be like, Bill was so-and-so, so-and-so. But a guy like that who was in the public eye for like 50 years and no one ever said anything bad about him.
You know what I learned?
That's pretty impressive.
I learned this in sports media, maybe recently, because the times have changed. But when someone passes, you got to go high road. Because remember Schefter had a tweet years ago about the quarterback Haskins.
I know, yeah.
That didn't go over well.
No.
But recently we had Jim Irsay passed this last week. I had to break the news. Got to go high road before you talk about anything else.
Even that's true, and that's human decency, right? We want to be decent human beings. But after that, like the obit of Jim Irsay has the butt, right? There's always in the obit, but you didn't have a butt in George Wendt's obit. Everybody said the guy was. I mean, literally everything I read about this guy, like so and so. I met him in Bloomington, Minnesota in 1992, and he bought my kid a popsicle. He was a great guy.
I like Jim Irsay. I wonder who's going to get that collection of his stuff. Guy was a collector. Let me tell you. Thinking about this now. I think the most famous mall food would either be Cinnabon or Auntie Anne's pretzel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's like a third in there.
If you're into that, the History Channel has done several series about the brands that built America, the foods that built America, and they did a whole episode on the mall food, and it focused on Auntie Annie's and it focused on Cinnabon, and it really spoke to how those two were the first mall food stores, and they were the precursor to the food courts. You know, that came along in the 70s mostly.
Were you a Cambridge Side Galleria food court guy?
Oh, I was more Burlington Mall, given where I grew
Johnny
up.
Rockets, was that?
Yeah. I was, I grew up in Arlington, so I was more of a, Woburn, Burlington Mall food court guy.
You go over there now. There's a Frank Pepe's.
Yeah, that food court in Burlington is like, whoa, that's pretty high end.
When we were kids, we went to we called it the Braintree Mall, but it was the South Shore Plaza. I called it Braintree.
Yeah.
Once they got that Pizza Regina in there, man, oh boy. I wanted to go to the mall just for a slice of pizza.
Well, that's the thing, right? When the Pizzeria Regina came in, or everywhere else, the Sbarro, but for here, when the Pizzeria Regina came in, that was kind of like the Death Star to all the other stores. Like if you go to any food court that has a Chick-fil-A, it's like the Death Star. All the other, they like giving out the samples, and like we got
Sarku, Japan used to give out that chicken.
Like Joe Chuck E. Cheesesteak is giving out free cheesesteaks, but you're like, no, I'm going to Chick-fil-A because it's Chick-fil-A.
We had this discussion last night. Who has the best chicken sandwich? I said Popeyes.
I think you're right.
Everyone else said Chick-fil-A.
No, and I live in an area that's overrun with Chick-fil-A's and Popeyes. Popeyes has a better sandwich, but I'm 1,000% with you on the pickles. You don't.
Nope.
I think they did that in Chick-fil-A probably because they had extra pickles or cucumbers in Georgia back in the day and didn't know what to do with them. I don't see the point.
All right, do you want to talk Red Sox next?
Whatever suits you, Joe.
I think we should. I would like your opinion. All right, well, we got to hit the headline. Bill Speros is here. Bookies.com, Boston Herald. We'll talk to him next on 98.5 The Sports.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, midway through the third quarter, the New York Knicks have a 72-53 lead over the Pacers. Back here on 98.5 The Sport. Bill Speros is here, everybody. Bookies.com. Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. Bookies.com. I know you work for them. You write for them. So there's been changes in Massachusetts regarding sports betting and gambling. And we're out in the media. Right now, remember the boom? There was a big boom. I saw you, remember when it launched here in Boston? It was a big boom. Well, now the big boom is Texas, and where it's becoming legal, and now everybody's following the chain. So now they've pulled out of Massachusetts in a lot of ways, or New England.
Well, here's how it works. You all and me, even though I'm not always in Massachusetts, I experienced it firsthand, as Joe can tell you. When sports betting begins in any state, we'll talk about Massachusetts. When sports betting was legalized in Massachusetts, you saw all those ads on TV. You heard all the ads on this station and on other stations. You saw all the ads during the Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics games, Patriots games, obviously, because all of these operators are trying to get new customers at the same time. Mm-hmm. You opened a market. I did the math. It was about 1.8 million people in Massachusetts that have downloaded sports betting apps. It's probably around 2 million now. So you have an audience of 2 million, and of course, I think 1.3 million probably belong to my brother, who seems to be downloading them all. But the point is, you have all these companies jumping into a brand new open market. That's happened in every state where there's been a launch. So what happens is, after a while, it's usually, this market is fairly mature. It's been 2 years plus since they launched online and retail. So in sports betting parlance, that's a mature market in a business that's only 6 years old. So these companies have gotten all of the customers that they're going to get that don't want to gamble. In other words, they got hey, come on, bet sports with us. The Celtics score a point, you win $200 worth of free bets. That's marketing. That's a marketing spend. That's a cost. That's a built-in cost that they use when they go into a market. But what happens is, after a while, you always have new people turning 21. You always have people coming into the pipeline. So you still see some mass advertising. But what happens is, when a market matures, the advertising goes away from trying to catch everybody, and it focuses more toward the people who are already betting. So that's why current customers will be getting emails and marketing offers, and companies like mine. What we do is we provide content, hopefully, that you folks read and enjoy and find credible. And, our site refers you to a sports book in Massachusetts or elsewhere, and we get a commission. That's how my company operates. And we do it above board. It's all legal. We're a publicly traded company. Our books are open. We're number 2 in our space right now. We used to be number 8. And it's because we do things clean, we do things right, and we don't deal with any offshore or anything like that. We only deal with legal and licensed stuff. And so these companies, what happens is, when a market matures like Massachusetts, sports betting is going to launch in Missouri on December 1st. So all that money that they were spending in Massachusetts is going to be spent in Missouri, because you're going to have 6 million new people come online that hadn't been legally allowed to bet, and the cycle will continue. What's happening in the business is you're seeing far fewer states launch. You have 39 states now that have legalized sports betting. There aren't a whole lot left on the board, and every one of those states, and I cover all of them, every single one is a 30-minute treatise as to how the politics and the infighting and the bickering and all that stuff has prevented sports betting in Georgia, in Texas, in Minnesota, in Oklahoma. All of these states were on the cusp of sports betting, but they can never get the bill over the line because of some issue that has nothing to do with gambling that's unique to each state. But when you have a launch like you're going to have in Missouri in a few months, all those ads, all of those spots that your station and other stations have, they'll be on the stations in Missouri. They'll be on during the Blues games and during the Chiefs games as of December 1st. Once, they can't advertise until they launch.
What do I know? I'm just a 43-year-old man from Boston who's knocked down doors my entire life. I have always advertised when everybody else isn't. So that's just my pitch.
You're right to a certain extent, but again, they are advertising. They're spending money in different places. They're spending money on affiliates like bookies.com, shameless plug, and they're also spending their money on much more direct marketing to their current customers. So they are advertising. They're just going about it differently for the most part because it's a different situation. It's the Massachusetts sports betting market is not the one that existed in March or April of 2023 because you have people that have cycled in. We've had 5 or 6 sports books leave the state already. So it's a mature market. Companies have come and gone. And it's a little different than it was when it first started, where they blasted TV ads everywhere.
Did you bet the Red Sox over this year?
Yes, I did. Silly me. They crushed me last year. I bet the under, and it was 80.5. And they ripped my heart out on the last day of the season just to show it to me before I died. And this year I foolishly took the over. That total is already down to 81.5. It opened at 85. It's down to 81.5. They opened at minus 110 to minus 120 to make the playoffs. Right now they're plus 220 to make the playoffs. It's a complete disaster.
So this is the worst team they've had the last 4 years through 57 games.
Yes, it is.
And if they don't get to a certain win, like, for example, 30 wins by Memorial Day, they don't make the playoffs, like historically. So I'm going to watch. But here's the deal. Do they want to be competitive or do they want to – it's kind of like they don't want to win. They want to be competitive, and they want their young talent to persevere. Yet there's a lot of growing pains. So I just don't know. Are they trying to play the young guys or are they trying to win? Because right now I don't think the focus is winning. I don't think they know how to win, Bill.
Well, that's a good point. I try to do my homework before I come on with you, Joe. And just so you know, I did reach out to Scotty Bowman because you were talking about Brett Marchand and Patrice Bergeron. Have not heard back. Oh. But I did my Red Sox homework. And since baseball began with the PitchCon, Alex Cora is 16 games under 500 as a manager when he cannot steal signs.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, kids, that's a big deal.
See, that's how I know you're around gambling. It's just the sharp eye. You know what I mean? Like, what's something that's different? Since the pitch clock, Cora as a manager, how many games?
16 games under 500.
It's a good nugget.
And I thought of, I was thinking about this today, getting over the fact that I saw Rita Moreno and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar get honorary degrees at Harvard. But I went back. It was 2022 when all 30 teams started that PitchCon. The Red Sox went 78-84, 78-84, 81-81, and this year they're 4 under, I believe. So according to my Arlington, they're 5 under. Okay, so according to my Arlington public school math, that means he's 17 games under 500 if they're 5 under. So he's 17 games under 500 since PitchCon. And I always laughed when people talked about what a great hitter J.D. Martinez was with runners in scoring position. And that's because he knew what was coming every freaking. In 2018, that guy knew every single pitch that was coming because Cora had probably the best mind in baseball. I don't think that's a problem. Stealing signs is part of the game.
Yeah, it was gamesmanship back then.
But that part of the game doesn't exist anymore. And all of a sudden, I never thought much of the guy to begin with. But all of a sudden, he's not such a great manager anymore.
I don't think it's about, for him, it's about, hey, how's this guy feel? And does this guy know when he's going to be off? And hey,
and it's also, I don't know what the pitch is going to throw, and I used to know what he's going to throw.
But my biggest issue is, and it's the problem with the game, like Brian Bayo's pissed. Now, you'll hear Brian Bayo hasn't gotten out of the fifth inning in his last 4 starts. Can you let him? Can you let him? And here's the deal: like Garrett Crochet, they're worried about him throwing over 100 pitches. So I understand there's a long-term investment, but do you want to win games now? And this is what I mean about winning games.
Well, if you need a sign to short the Red Sox, when he pulled Garrett Crochet, this is your workhorse. This was the guy that we were told is the next Clemens. He's a big 6'20" guy.
He's got the look for sure.
He's a horse. He's a workman. He's gonna go out there and. Of course, he's never thrown more than 144 innings, by the way. But who cares about facts and data? He's the workhorse. He's the guy. And then you pull on him after 85 pitches. You want to know if the Red Sox really want to win? I think that answers your question right there.
I think Core is managing. He's just not managing to win. Like, I think he's managing egos. He's managing young players.
Well, he's not managing. You're right. He's not managing a baseball. He's not managing baseball. He's not managing a baseball.
He's like a babysitter.
Yeah, he is. He's like a high school guidance counselor or something. You know, he definitely wants everyone to feel good. And the worst part about it is he has job security and he knows it. The Red Sox are not going to eat that contract.
Yeah,
I hope I'm wrong. I will happily come on to your show via whatever electronic device exists. If I happen to be here in Florida, I will happily say I'm wrong, but I don't think the Red Sox are going to fire this guy. I think they like him too much. I think, look, their soccer team just won the Premier League or whatever it is last weekend. They're focused on that. I was stunned when Henry left the Cryotron. He hangs out there with Ted. Keeps Teddy ballgame company, but he left Ted and went to Kansas City. I was shocked when that happened, but it did. That was a good sign, but I think that might be it for the next 5 years, where he actually cares about the team. And I just think, as we've seen, their concerns are focused elsewhere. They're going to say, look, we signed Alex Bregman. We signed Garrett Crochet. Bregman got hurt. We got to save Garrett Crochet for when we make the playoffs, even though we're not going to make the playoffs. They're just going to be status quo. Let's not rock the boat. I don't know what would push them to make a move. They can always throw Craig Breslow overboard. He's like the bilge. He's bilge.
It's going to be like that guy Fatsy, the hitting coach.
Well, they should get rid of him. They have to get rid of somebody, right?
You got to do something.
But that'll be all like window dressing, right? Mm-hmm. That it won't change anything. It won't change anything because ownership there's no more passion there. Obviously,
I heard today that if they did bring up Roman Anthony, by the way, there'd be some sort of money implication, somewhat minor league thing, and that's why. Like,
there you go.
There's no reason why. Listen, I don't think Roman Anthony is going to save the Red Sox from themselves. And I just saw Baltimore do that, right? With all their young players, weren't they going to be? Wait until they're there. How's that working out for them?
Yeah, they took a lot of money this year too, by the way.
You're damn right about that. We got a break. We got musings. Bill Speros is here. You want to hang out?
Sure.
All right, cool. We'll take a quick break. And by the way, this hour of the Sports Hub has been brought to you by our good friends, and they are our good friends, over at Deanne Van Lines. Take the chance out of your move and make the sure bet with Deanne Van Lines, an approved mover of the Department of Defense, DeanneVanLines.com. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right, we got the NBA playoffs right now. New York has a 90-73 lead entering the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson, 30 points now going in to the fourth quarter. Winner will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Edmonton has a 4-2 lead right now over the Stars going into the third period. Of course, Edmonton wins this game. They will take on who? Brad Marchand and the Florida Panthers. Headlines. They are brought to you by our good friends. And of course, they are our great friends. It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The golden program, Awaken 180's medication-free fast weight loss solution for those over 60. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5. The Sports Hub.
Put people in a corner one way or the other, like Pop-Tarts. Like you can discuss Pop-Tarts on a less visceral level, but still get a good discussion out of it. I'm telling you, this chocolate chip Pop-Tart thing, man, I hope to listen it in Battle Creek.
Thinking about it. Do you know who Sydney Sweeney is?
Yes, I do.
Big fan. I think the Night Show's a big fan. I won't speak for Skaz.
I'm a happily married man of 35
No, that's fine.
years.
But you could still be a fan. And she's a great actress. She threw out that first pitch. Remember, Skaz?
Yeah, she may have cursed the Red Sox, Joe, but yeah. They haven't been the same since that day.
Her Mookie Betts, John Henry.
That's a thing. I saw that somewhere.
Yes, yeah.
Who had that?
They lost like 21-3 that night and have never been the same.
They got to bring her back, man.
Yeah,
they should. No, for real. I think we should hey Sydney Sweeney. Did you know, since you were last at Fenway, the Red Sox suck? Can you please come back? Thank you.
Yes.
Call in 617-779-0985. We'll talk it out. Do you think she'd join the show?
I don't think so, Joe.
Do you think she'd be interested that you and I first met at a Hooters? Because she did wear the Hooters getup on Saturday Night Live.
She did do a Hooters sketch, yes, but I don't know if our story would really pique her interest.
Jake, do you watch Sydney Sweeney TV shows?
I do not.
Do you know who she is?
I do know who she is, yes.
Okay, Trey, thumbs up or down?
Trey's aware. He knows who she is, yes.
Well, Sydney Sweeney is selling soap made from her own bathwater with a limited edition stock. Here we go, Bill.
How did Jordan Hudson not think of this first? That's what I want to know.
I just don't think anybody wants Jordan Hudson's gum. I think we want the soap of Sydney Sweeney. Sydney is selling a limited edition soap made by her own bathwater. Fans always joke about wanting my bathwater. I was like, this is just a cool way to give them what they want. Sydney Sweeney giving everybody.
Did you get a shot of penicillin with that?
I don't know, but she's turning her used bathwater into soap, and she's partnering with Dr. Squatch.
I have just two things on this, Joe. Number one, if you buy it, you should be put on a watch list of sorts, I would say. And number two, if you believe that it's her actual bathwater, I can't help you.
I don't know. Dr. Squatch, you ever see some of that stuff? I don't know if it's a he or she.
I think I've seen the commercials.
They have these smell scented. I had one for my car once. It was a lemon scent. It was actually a piece of wood.
Yeah, what would her bathwater smell like?
Roses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's one.
Or White Lotus. Get it? I mean, I don't know.
I think it's more like botulism.
I think that it would sell.
Oh, it would definitely sell.
Kevin Durant once told Scarlett Johansson he would drink her bathwater. Kevin Durant says a lot on the internet. You ever notice that?
Colin Jost has probably drank her bathwater.
Oh, that is right. Do you like it?
He probably accidentally drank it.
What's your favorite Weekend Update crew?
Oh, man. Dennis Miller was always my favorite.
I loved Dennis
and Norm
Miller.
Macdonald. And I love Norm Macdonald because he was so good at it, he got fired. That's what you want from a Weekend Update anchor. You want a guy.
Was he wrong? Was he wrong? What he did, was he wrong?
That guy had big cojones to do what he did at the time that he did it, given how close Don Ohlmeyer was to O.J. Simpson. And that was like, to me, what he was so Like, that's what it's supposed to be, right? Truth to power, whatever your satire. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what satire. That's the essence of what Weekend Update should be: is making those OJ jokes when he was an NBC guy at the time or had been, and the head of the network is like his benefactor, and you're still making OJ jokes. That is major cojones right there.
I give him credit for it. This is weird. You're right. Dennis Miller and Norm Macdonald were pros.
I mean, those guys were on a different level.
I really liked Kevin Nealon. I don't know if it was because he was like a placeholder maybe for a little while?
Well, yeah, but he, again, you talk about the Pop-Tarts. Kevin Nealon was kind of like that. He was different. He was like the guy that you didn't really expect anything from, so he overperformed, right? Like low expectations, high delivery, which is like the literal opposite of the Red Sox for the last 5 years. But I think he was more like Kevin Nealon, who, oh man, this guy was funny. Like, oh wow, he was like funny.
Did you see the Stefon Diggs video on Cardi B's boat?
I saw that video. I said to my son, and I said, Alexandra, this is the kind of quarterback that the kind of wide receiver that Drake May needs.
Yes.
This is exactly the kind of guy who's going to take Drake May to the next level. And I mean in every way possible. What better way to get inducted, like to really get into the NFL, to have a guy on a boat off the shore of Miami with some scantily clad woman who may or may not be in the sex worker industry distributing what may or may not be a controlled substance. I think that is sort of the epitome of what you want from a wide receiver. And if you're Drake May, that's the kind of guy, if you can handle that guy, you can handle anybody.
I'll say this. Zoe today on this station says he wouldn't be surprised if he was cut. I would be floored if they cut him. If he didn't fail a drug test, I don't care. It's a non-story to me. It's Cardi B is a superstar who probably I'm not trying to I'm relating rock stars with drugs, okay?
And the sense of Cardi B, Steph Diggs is like a D-lister compared to her anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, he's
Torrey Craig
like,
dates Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, I mean,
it's huge.
He's hardly compared in that stratosphere. He's not like, oh, we're hanging with like this big time athlete. We're hanging with a guy who, like, the Patriots had to overpay for, but wasn't going to get signed by anybody else.
Well, there's a report that Cardi B is angry with Stefon Diggs.
I don't blame her. I would be too. Like, how did this tape get out? Like, what happened? Who was taping on the boat? I mean, don't you throw all the cell phones overboard?
No,
it's
like a bachelor party.
The first
photos.
The first rule of boat club is you throw all your phones overboard, right? I mean, that's the first rule of boat club.
Bill, give me has anything good ever happened on a boat for an? Remember the Vikings boat?
Oh, okay. Here's the deal with boats, right? One of two things can happen. You can make it back to port or you can sink. So you're 50-50. You're minus 110 right off the bat, right? Of like sinking. So right then and there, one of the two things is really bad. And then if you throw in like alleged controlled substances and alleged perhaps workers in an industry that's not even legal in Florida, it's not good. No, it's like after midnight, right? I tell my son, nothing good happens after midnight. Nothing good happens on a boat off the coast of Miami and the Cardi B club, especially when you got your phone.
I agree. Remember the Giants took that photo, Odell Beckham on a boat?
It never ends well. Titanic.
Didn't Brady drop the trophy on a boat?
Tom Brady throwing the trophy off a boat. Thank goodness that was caught by Baby Gronk. Made that catch, by the way. That was Baby Gronk who made that catch. And Tom Brady was seriously inebriated on that boat, which is a felony in the state of Florida if he was driving it, which he wasn't, thank goodness. But yeah, see, boats, no, they're not many good things. Stay off the boat.
Prestige Worldwide, Boats and Joe's is what I would like to call it. Boats and Joe's.
Stay off the boat.
Speaking of boats, Remember that little submarine that was made that, well, unfortunately people died, so I don't want to make a joke about it, but remember that submarine and went all, they're doing a documentary about it. Is it too soon for that?
I don't know if it's too soon. I mean, it's to me, it's like, I don't want to watch that. I don't need to know. I know what happened. Physics. It's called physics, kids. Physics happened. Too much pressure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sure. I guess I'm not interested in that. I don't want to. I'm not disrespecting the people who perished. I feel terrible. What a god awful way to die. But I don't have any interest in that. I mean, unless there was something untoward, or I guess you could argue that they shouldn't have been down there because the vessel was obviously not ready or prepared. Then it's more of a criminal, like, what were these people doing? Was this thing like, did somebody mess up? Was somebody liable for, that's one thing. But just to watch it, I don't need to see that.
Would we call the Sydney Sweeney curse the curse of the Babino?
We could. Come on. We could call it the curse of the communicable disease.
That doesn't work for me. I don't know. Babino, you're out on that one, guys? You didn't like that?
It looks better in print because it would be Baebino. It would look good in print. That would be like a good Herald headline. Curse of the Babino.
Oh, there you go, Bill.
Like, that's a back page, kids.
There we go.
Curse of the Babino and Cindy. Like that, it works in a headline. If you say it, if you read it, it's funny. I think if you were to read that, it would be funny.
Yes, it would be. Well, maybe. Do you know anybody? I mean, you know people over there. Joe Murray, 98.5.
I know people.
Joe Murray, 98.5. Is it the curse of the Babino? Maybe I'll send her a note. But like, hey, there might be a curse. We can promote whatever you want. Your bathwater, White Lotus, Hooters, whatever you want.
You could gargle her bathwater on the air.
I'll sing the national anthem if you want to gargle if you like.
Gargle the national anthem with Sydney Sweeney's
or the Oscar Mayer Wiener song with my hand over my belly like last week. Anyways, what is today's date? May 29th. Want to hear some birthdays today? How old are you, Bill?
Oh,
people are asking.
I turned 60 in March.
Holy smokes!
And
it's a big year for you, bro.
Your earlier sponsor, who is not in Florida, I wish they were. I actually looked them up. I am down 22 pounds this year on my own. I'm sure Awaken 180 would help me and be a great help, but unfortunately they don't reach the friendly confines of Florida.
The Golden Program. I bet you Paige would take a ride if she had. I'm sure she'd want to go to Florida.
But I am on sort of my, I guess you could call it Awaken 179.
Yeah, I'm on Awaken 375 where. I was over 4. I'm happy at 375. Can I get lower? I was 320 at 18.
Oh, wow.
I've been fluctuating for the last 20 years.
Well, I'm at 224, but I want to get down another 15. But I have my doctor, God bless her, my liver doctor. I don't know, you may know this. I've had 2 liver transplants.
Wow, I did not know that, actually.
Okay. That's another day for another show. So is my time going to college.
Great. God bless your doctor.
Yeah. Well, this is
Boston too, or Florida?
No. Actually, she's a head liver doctor at Shands in Gainesville. So
wow.
You can go to University of Florida, and my son was in a frat down there.
Did you give him one of these after?
I got a lot of Gators. Well, it's funny. They took my first 2 livers and they ended up feeding them to Uga, the Georgia mascot.
Uga's gone now. It's someone else now.
They're on like Uga 50.
I'm upset about that.
But she told me, she said in January, listen, Bill, you need to lose weight. My son's getting married this year. So she said, lose weight for your son's wedding. So that's kind of what I'm doing. He's getting married in October. So I've got a few more months and a few more pounds.
We are getting other suggestions in our chat. I don't know if I can say them, Skaz, so I would like you to just read them to yourself. Do you think we can say that or no?
I mean, you've already been dumped once tonight, Joe.
I didn't swear that time.
No, you didn't. You were alluding to. Almost. You almost swore.
Our chat is calling it the boob Bino.
Yeah, I think that's fine. PG enough.
Is it better than
It's 10 o'clock.
Is it better than Babino?
Not in print.
Yeah, not in
Baby-
print. Yeah, not in print.
Nothing beats the curse of the Babino with her picture.
There you
and
go.
a column about how she destroyed the Red Sox.
Again, our chat, not me.
Well, I don't know your chat. I applaud.
They
your
love you. They
effort.
love Bill Speros. They're telling us.
Well, thank
They
you.
wanted to know your age.
I am 60.
Not yet.
No, and I did turn 60.
Oh, you
I had
just turned
my 60th birthday party this year at JetBlue Park. I rented a
Wow.
suite. It was very cool. I rented a suite. Had some very close friends and family. We had like 21 people in the suite. It was terrific. Pete Shepard, who's down there on Pete's show every week. Pete was there.
Is he still doing? Was he?
Yeah,
on
he does a
Sports Grid
show
or
every
something
week.
now, or?
Jerry Thornton joined us.
Wow. I was with Jerry Thornton last year.
Yeah, Jerry was there, and I had some very close friends and family. The Red Sox A-plus job, Sam Kennedy and his person down there in Fort Myers. I would highly recommend it. It was Devers' first game. It was at March 15th, my birthday. It was Devers' first game back. That was the first day that he played, that Saturday. And it was against the Braves. Chris Sale pitched. The place was packed, and we had a beautiful suite. It was a great time, and it was a great birthday. But yeah. 1965, Mount Auburn Hospital.
Well, it was the summer of '65. Well, this would have been the fall. No, spring.
Any more personal questions?
No, that's that. Well, we'll read those in the chat. Birthdays today. Danny Elfman, 72 years old today. LaToya Jackson, 68. Annette Benning, 67 years old. She was married to Warren Beatty.
Yeah, they screwed up the Oscar.
Rupert Everett, 66. Laverne Cox, 53. Riley Keough, 36. Lorelei Linklater, 32.
Don't know that.
Me either. John F. Kennedy was born on this date.
1918.
Yep. Yep.
John F. Kennedy and Ted Williams were born like 4 months apart.
Happy birthday to Carmelo Anthony. He turned 40 years old today. And it looks like the New York Knicks are going to win. Is that correct?
Yeah.
They can't lose on Carmelo's birthday,
No.
can they?
Oh, they're looking pretty strong. I think Indy's tapping out tonight.
Pop singer Mel B of the Spice Girls, 49 today. Nia Jax, wrestler. She is 40 years old today. Met her. Great person. Noel Gallagher, 57 of Oasis. Paul Skeens, 22 years old. He's very good. Any others? Austin Reeves, 26 years old today.
Is Bob Hope's birthday today?
Whoa!
Or would have been Bob Hope's birthday today?
Bob Hope.
That's a great call.
Did you say Melissa Etheridge?
Come to my window. She was great. She was like raspy and like a rebel.
Yeah, she had sometimes the singers all sound the same. You knew it was her, right?
This is the soft versions, guys. Because when she's like, come to
like
my
Joe Cocker's twin
window.
sister.
Yeah, you're right.
She'd be like a female Joe Cocker.
Al Unser Sr. We've been doing racing a lot.
He won like 1 million Indy 500s.
Don't know anything about it, but the Wiener 500 was last week.
That was
Oscar
cool.
Mayer Wiener.
Yeah.
I did a live.
I saw that.
Oh, you watched it?
I did.
Thank you.
That was pretty good.
I enjoyed it. And I can't wait for the hot dog eating contest. How are they not going to have Joey Chestnut there? And there's a local guy, Jeffrey Esper, who's probably one of the favorites.
I did a column on him a few years ago.
He's like a math teacher, right, or something?
Yeah, from
Worcester.
You know what his record is? Most wings ate at Hooters.
Yeah, that's right. He was the wing guy. That was his thing. And I remember talking to him about it, and it was kind of like that was like when no one had done wings. It was kind of like a new thing in that space. But everybody's trying to okay, who's going to take over from those two? I don't know.
Did anybody ever tell you? Did anybody ever say you sound like Paul Perillo? Have you ever heard that before?
You told me that the last time.
Another guy just said this to me.
Well, okay. Last time I was here,
I've worked with Paul. I don't think you guys sound alike at all.
Okay, the last time I was here, I think you said one of the people on the station said I sounded like Bill Burr, which I thought was a compliment.
Oh, I like that one.
That was a good compliment.
So, can I give you a Bill Burr joke real quick?
I don't know if you can.
Well, I don't know if I can
FCC,
either.
I don't know.
The only time, and we're late. I'm sorry. This is a good story, though. And it's about a dump button. It was a Saturday morning. Me and Liv Schatz doing the Bankroll Boys. I think Skaz knows this story. Trey, you want to know? You want to listen to this one? So Bill Burr always does a story about being from Boston. 7:08 in the morning, Bill. 7:08 in the morning. Me and Liv Schatz. Well, you got those first round picks. You got Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bleepin. And I go, dump. Good thing it was at 7:08 in the morning on a Saturday. But I blame Bill Burr for that one. Because it's true. You've done it. You know it. I've worked at the Globe. I've worked at the Herald and Bleepin. It just happens.
Well, it's funny because every time I'm on a show, and Pete Shepard's thing is I'm on with Pete Shepard every week, but his is streamed, so
you can let him loose.
He enjoys the profanity. He likes to get out of his system a little bit. But I tend to not to, especially since my company, my employers are sort of attached to this. But every time I go on the radio or TV or anything, my brothers and my friends are marvel that I haven't cursed. I've never done that ever, and I've been on radio. I've been on a bunch of different stuff. It is funny how I never do that, even though the second we turn the mic off, I will be swearing.
There's your musings for tonight. Anybody else? Anything else? Jake, you good? Anything bothering him? You, Skaz? No, you good? All right. You want to hang out, or what do you want to do? You want to go home? What do you got going on?
I'm meeting my brother for breakfast tomorrow. So
where are we going?
I'm free. I think we usually go to the Arlington Diner.
Ooh.
Greek place, of course. Hopefully, I have family in Arlington. Lots of.
So you're going back that way?
Well, I'm staying in Waltham, as you know.
If you're staying in Waltham, I got a suggestion for you.
Okay.
In a pickle restaurant, Moody Street. Oh. You want to talk about Pop-Tart with chocolate? Oh, they got some goodies. So just do it. Google that. Just Google it. Just in a pickle. Have some fun with it. All right. Well, let's just keep doing it. Take a break here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. The off-air discussions are always great, huh?
Well, that's what you can't talk about on the air. That's why it's off the air.
So we have a new intern. His name's Trey. He's
Hey,
back
Trey.
there. Trey,
Hi,
that's
Trey.
Bill.
Hi.
And Trey.
Where does he go to school?
He goes to Boston University.
Oh, my God.
We've never had a BU intern
Really?
before. He plays lacrosse for BU.
He looks like an athlete.
Oh,
Damn.
big boy, right? I mean, he's like
Mean.
he's kind of. I'm trying to. So he's from Maryland.
I'm thinking free safety, maybe. Like, get him.
Well, he's a lacrosse player, so I don't know positions in lacrosse, but I'm trying to think of a Maryland athlete. Like Stefon Diggs went to Maryland.
Yeah.
That's
a good role model, Trey.
Yeah, real good one.
Just don't bring the camera. Throw the camera into the Miami Biscayne Bay.
Those Maryland role models, Scott Zolak,
Yeah.
Stefon Diggs.
Scott Zolak.
But see, Scott probably knows to not bring the phone.
Well,
Oh, they didn't have that, which is good. Hey, look, I will be the first to admit that when it comes to gambling and social media, if those things were online or prevalent during my youth, I would have probably ended up in a dumpster a long time ago.
You have a. I'm trying to think of like a Maryland. Well, they had great NBA players, right? I'm trying to think of some, Stevie Francis, right? The franchise, wasn't he a Maryland guy? Joe Smith, number 1 pick. Juan Dixon. Isn't your boy? Was it Alex Len or Jake Lehman? Do you know who's your boy?
Well, I don't know him, but yeah, I watched Jake Lehman play in high school, and he was the best high school basketball player I've ever seen.
Steve Blake, good little player.
Mello Trimble was
the
good.
Best one ever, unfortunately.
John Luca.
Len Bias.
Bias. Oh, jeez. Can we do this for a minute?
Boomer Esiason.
Boomer, great. Celtic City.
Boy, I loved it.
I really did love it. I thought
Not just because I was in it.
Yeah, no, I know.
I told Shaughnessy, I said, Dan, I managed to squeeze in there just for a second.
Okay, we're from here. We can talk about this. We can be transparent about. We saw the different changes by generation, right?
Yes.
Whether it was culture, whether it was about how the players dealt with the culture, whether it was about the city and its changes. But I think you also saw the Celtics change. That run after the 69 season, they struggled for a bit. Then they got better again with Havlicek and Cowens. And then Cowens walked away, which is like something I completely forgot.
No, I remember that. I was like 13 when that happened, and that was such a big story. And no one could understand why, and now you watch it, and I understand why he did it. I was a kid at the time. I'm like, you're playing for the Celtics. What are you, crazy? But it turns out, he obviously had his reasons. And that's what my favorite thing about that series was that they talked to everybody. I mean, they either had the ones who had passed, they had just interviews, had whatever the archives did, and then of course the ones who are still with us. And I know you like these sorts of things. I was thinking about this today. I was talking to my friend, and people don't realize this, and I don't think I'm wrong. I think Bob Cousy is the oldest, greatest living athlete right now. He is the Mantle, Hank Aaron. He's that guy.
Wow.
He is that guy who is the greatest, oldest athlete. He has the mantle right now. Like it was when Joe DiMaggio was still alive, or when Ted Williams, or when Hank Aaron, or, and it's not just baseball, obviously. But Wilt Chamberlain, when he passed, now you could maybe argue Kareem, but Cousy's older than Kareem, so it's not necessarily better, but it's sort of who's the elder statesman of sports. And it's got to be Cousy. He's got to be that guy. Because no one's older than him. And my God, he won his share of titles.
Yeah. And you know what? He's sharp. Still sharp for his age.
Yes.
I shouldn't even say for his age. He's sharp. Do you know what kind of hit me with it? Two things. I didn't realize Cousy was Mr. Basketball like that.
Yeah.
And when they showed him in Hawaii with like was it Frank Gifford and like all these, he didn't see himself as like that kind of symbol, but they made him that way. And it was sad because what was sad was he's on this island while Bill Russell can't even drive home with his family. Like that was, or like Bill Russell and I'm trying to think of the first, the guy he mentioned went to the bathroom together, but they couldn't go to the bathroom at the same time. But it was just funny. Like it was just him talking about it. I do think he might have been ignorant to some things because he was so busy, right? Or just go here, go there. But I'm kind of glad him and Russell did have a last communication. But do you feel like Russell had that, like, I don't want to, not jealousy, but, you might have it easier than me?
I don't, I guess, I don't know how, I never talked to him. I have spoken to his widow on a few occasions, and I've actually connected with his daughter on social media. From what I've read, and I read a lot of his books, I think it's what he's, and this sort of bleeds over to Kareem today too. You have these guys who were around back then, who Kareem not so much because he grew up in New York and then played in L.A. and Milwaukee and L.A. So he didn't experience what Bill Russell experienced, but they were of that time and of that era, and so obviously he was probably like pissed, to put it diplomatically, on the air. And I don't think jealousy was the word. I would probably look at it more of an anger thing, and it took him I think it took him a long time to get past a lot of that. And thank goodness that he lived long enough to find the grace to perhaps forgive, if not forget, what some of the things that he experienced, so that he got to realize how much people did really love and respect him. He shut himself off to the city that shut himself off.
He played for the Celtics, not Boston.
Yeah. So when you do that, obviously there's going to be kind of a visceral reaction both ways. But I honestly believe that he lived long enough to where that wasn't, he got to experience both sides, right? He got to experience the adulation. He got to experience, everything that these other guys got. It just took too long. Yeah, I would say, my opinion.
So the Len Bias stuff really did it hit home, and it. I mean, seeing was it his mom? Yeah, his mom was in it. It was very good, but it was the continuation though to Reggie Lewis, and
I mean, how the hell did the franchise survive that? I mean, think about that. And then with Pierce, too. Yeah. I mean, you almost lost Paul Pierce. That part of the history
Jeff Green
of the Celtics,
even later on and had issues, and
but that part of the Celtics where you went from Len Bias and then Reggie Lewis and then all-star. Paul Pierce, like these were cornerstone. These were your cornerstone guys,
and they could have mixed in the Brian Shaws, the D Browns, and I think it would have been a playoff team.
Well, look, I mean, if we're going to minimize this for a minute and look at it from a basketball perspective, and they did that in the series. I mean, Len Bias in 1987 buys Larry Bird 20 minutes a night of rest on the bench. So maybe you get a fully healthy and engaged Larry Bird against the Lakers or the Pistons in the playoffs.
Or McHale doesn't blow his foot out or whatever.
And again, this was.
I know we're playing the basketball.
This is part of history. I don't think I'm minimizing that. I remember that. I was working my first job when that happened. I remember that vividly. I was 21 at the time I was working. But if you want to look at it from the basketball perspective, the dominoes of Len Bias were cataclysmic. And the same with Reggie Lewis. It was like an unbelievable, horrific happenstance of both these guys, completely different, yet at least medically similar, like ways that they died of heart failure. Yeah. And it was insane that it's like we were talking earlier about Bill Belichick. When you're going through it, you don't really grasp it. Like Reggie Lewis, you got to wait 30 years to grasp that. Len Bias, you're like, oh my God, that happened. And with this idiot Belichick, Jordan Hudson thing, that'll be like when they do that. That documentary's coming, by the way, folks. You heard it here first. I hope I get to write it, but I don't think I will. That's coming. And when that comes out, when we're watching that in 5 years on Netflix or Amazon Prime, you're going to be like, "Oh my God, I lived through this." And you can't fully grasp it during the time.
So I was born in 80. I'm 43. I was born in 82. But as a kid growing up in the city of Boston, there were athletes that came around. Like Ted Donato was from Hyde Park. He came back. I always saw him at events, right? The Red Sox sent guys out to the city and ballparks. But Reggie Lewis would come to the YMCA. Like Reggie Lewis played with us. Like, so when I was a kid, I connected to Reggie. And then he defended Michael Jordan, and Jordan had it was just like when LeBron, remember when he got dunked on and they swept the Celtics, but he goes, yeah, that was like good for them. You know, when Michael Jordan did that, that's when I thought Reggie Lewis was on the map. And he was. And he became an all-star. It crushed. And he also was buried at Forest Hill Cemetery. Like, I have family buried there. So it's like, whew, that one, dude. And you know what's funny? I think I tuned out for a little bit. Like, there was the Sherm Douglas, Dino Raja, Rick Fogg, like those years. I just kind of was like, once it didn't matter anymore.
Well,
for me at least.
I think what we saw in the series and what you saw firsthand was that there was a real connection. And I know Jackie McMullen talked about that a lot.
Series. She was crushed.
She chronicled his whole career, even before Northeastern. So, I think a lot of people took. Len Bias was, oh my God, but Reggie Lewis, everybody knew him. Like you said, there were people who saw him like, oh my God, I saw this guy on the street last week.
Right down the street from where we are, it all happened.
And so that was much more, like they talk about when Kennedy was shot, where people were in a stupor for days. That Reggie Lewis hit like that did for I would imagine folks like you who grew up with him. And I think that one, I think you're right. There were wilderness years, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was a part of it. That it's supposed to be fun. It's basketball. It's sports, and then this person that you root for and that you like, and he freaking dies. It's like, this is supposed to be sports. You're not supposed to die. It's basketball.
I know. It's All right, we got to take a break. Get our final headline of the night. Looks like we have a continuance in basketball. I'll tell you what happened right now in headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the New York Knicks win Game 5 tonight. sent him a text because I mentioned something
I
earlier.
haven't heard back from Scotty. I think he probably went to bed after that Edmonton game. He might have went to bed in the first period.
Well, we got a big matchup. Brad Marchand versus Trent Frederick in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's massive, let me tell you. If Brad Marchand wins a second Stanley Cup, where does it put him amongst Bruins greats?
Well, he's not going to win it with the Bruins.
Where does it put him amongst Bruins greats?
He's where he was when he was traded.
Oh, no, I disagree.
He's not. I know you talked about this earlier. He's not above Patrice Bergeron on the Bruins pantheon. He may be above Patrice Bergeron on the overall pantheon, or as we were saying earlier off air, I'm a championship guy. I'm the guy who bought Tampa Bay Buccaneers season tickets 90 seconds after Adam Schefter's tweet. I told my son that I had the Bucs season tickets before he had even heard the news about Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. I am a rings guy, championships, no asterisks. That's me. Having said that, if you're talking about the Bruins, he only won one with the Bruins. Bergeron won one. Bergeron was a dominant, transcendent guy at his position. Brad Marchand was not.
Do you know what my comp is? And I know it's different sports. Ray Allen.
I know you talked about, but again, on the Celtics pantheon, he's not above Paul Pierce or Kevin Garnett. On the NBA pantheon, if you want to make the argument that he has more rings, I'm all for that. Again, rings above all else. But I don't know how, if you talk about Bruins and you're putting them on a scale of the top 50 or 10 greatest Bruins, you cannot put Brad Marchand above Patrice Bergeron in any way, shape, or form. I asked Scotty Bowman that question. He hasn't gotten back to me. And he will get back
I'm
to
waiting
me.
for
I will
Scotty.
let you know. I'm going to email you his answer.
Yeah, I think. Oh God! See, Bergeron's a made man. He's a made man here. You say you can't say anything bad about him.
Oh no! I'm not.
You know what I'm doing, right? I'm stirring the pot about another one of the guys from that era has a chance to win multiple while the others didn't.
But it's not with the Bruins.
Doesn't matter.
Well, how can you say, if you're talking about his time as a Bruin, then how does his time not?
Maybe it was
it's
the
like
Bruins.
Saying
The
Babe
Bruins were
Ruth.
holding him back.
It's like saying Babe Ruth was like the all-time Red Sox home run leader, even though he only hit like 100-odd home runs with the Red Sox. It doesn't. I took 4 years of logic at Marquette. The Jesuits drilled my mind into logical, analytical thinking. That's why I work in data. That's why I work in gambling. There's no, we're very much into the data, into the numbers, into the reality. I don't deal in the esoteric, fanciful.
Welcome to fanciful land.
Welcome to fanciful island. So I'm a slave. I'm a slave to reality. So I don't know how his time away from the Bruins. Now, if you want to say the Bruins were holding him back,
oh yeah,
I will say he might have had better. At this time, he has a better team around him in Tampa. I mean, in Tampa, Sunrise. Excuse me, and Sunrise than he had around him with the Bruins when they won the President Cup. And Brad Marchand had a chance to ice Game 5 on a breakaway with 3 seconds left, and he gagged. I guess he does have a better team, but then again, maybe he won't gag with a chance to knock the Panthers out of the playoffs on a breakaway at the end of regulation.
All right, we got 60 seconds. Oilers open as favorites to win the Stanley Cup, -120. Panthers even.
Man, I'm going with the Panthers.
I think you have to with those odds.
I mean, at even money, that's a great price. I would have to jump on that. That Florida team, that goalie, he's the anti-Tuca. He just shows up in May.
The anti-Tuca.
It's like Russia and Finland, right? They're mortal enemies. Tuca checks out as soon as the snow thaws, and Sergei rolls like the Red Army in 1943.
Bill Speros, share it. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Bookies.com.